Sagittarius, something about affirmations could be important. Whether you're doing affirmations or something that you told somebody or a perspective that you gave someone could have stuck in their head. There also could be somebody needs to go get tested. Whether this is health screening, paternity tests, whatever this is. Maybe it's just somebody else going to school. There's some type of test that's needed. All right, it's time to cut your losses. Okay, you're going to have to let something go. As soon as I said that the song I got playing for y'all is Lil Wayne mobbing, and he said, man, fuck these niggas. All right, so cut your losses when it comes to a situation, whether masculine or feminine. Hopefully this is not somebody in your family, but maybe they don't see the little things like you do. Know that some type of stability is here and or coming. There's somebody around that doesn't feel bad about a situation. Who are we talking about? Somebody hope that they don't look weak. All right, so there's an Aquarius, a Pisces, a Scorpio, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, an Aquarius, heavy on this Aries, a Taurus, a Cancer, a Leo, a Pisces, heavy on the Pisces, heavy on the Taurus. Somebody don't feel bad about a situation. All right, so you're going to have to let something go. Let's see, what you cutting your losses about? There could be something in particular that you wanted. It could be like, oh, I want this particular car, this particular house, or this particular thing. You got to cut your loss when it comes to it. You may end up returning back to a place that you've already been or going back to a different kind of mindset. Somebody also could be coming towards you. This could be someone that you're ready to walk away from or you're going to need to. Somebody's overloaded because they feel like something didn't happen when they thought it was going to, and or they thought they was going to be more prepared than they are. So somebody's not really communicating exactly what kind of pressure they got going on. So they could be trying to return up to you and show up to you, but there's type of restriction when it comes to this. So be careful when it comes to the Sagittarius. Who's popping back up? You also could be watching this happen. But they're coming to you. This could be an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a Cancer, a Gemini. Heavy on this Gemini. Especially if they're going through some type of painful ending. This also could be a Pisces. They also could be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm still happy. I'm still joyful. I'm just trying to be comforting right now. But at the same time that they feel there's something that's not really going the way that they want to, or there's some type of shortcut that they were trying to take when it comes to them feeling like there's some type of betrayal or some type of crisis, and they're going to have to make a decision when it comes to an investigation. So somebody could be going back into a situation where they feel like, damn, I just got out of some type of urgency, some type of pressure and or deadline. And now they feel overloaded because they didn't get some type of message, or they feel, okay, well, this was the wrong time for somebody to do something or take some type of action, and they're just disappointed in it. Okay. And you also may be disappointed in this person if you sleep with them for whatever reason. So cut your losses. If you go back to this person, there is going to be some type of pressure. You may not get some type of communication or offer that's supposed to come towards you, and you're going to end up being delayed and feeling overloaded. So you're going to have to let someone go. All right, what's up? This is the water sign. So somebody already has you on guard. You could already be side-eyeing this person or feel like you're doing a whole lot of work when it comes to them. And or say, okay, well, you know, from time to time, they just want you to be ready to go and you got a challenge or something that you got to work through. You could be in and out of seeing it, something that's stable. If you had a question, get something into a water sign season. Yeah, you'll have type of stability between water sign season. What's this? What's this? Leo? So probably Virgo season and Scorpio season. But it's maybe a challenge if you're sleeping with somebody. Even if they come off as stable, yeah, somebody's going to be very much moody. They're disappointed in this situation, and or there's something that they can't truly offer you. So you're going to end up being exhausted, and or something's going to destroy your confidence. It's going to make you go through a change when it comes to something being secure for you. So just be careful when it comes to that. All right, if you have a family member that's a water sign, this could be a Scorpio, a Pisces, a Cancer, maybe even a Gemini. Or if this is not your family member that's a water sign, this could be a Virgo's family member, a Pisces, a Scorpio. They could have a family member that's a water sign. And somebody's going to come towards you and say, okay, well, look, I know you have type of innocence. You know, I'm familiar with this person or how they give love to people or what they do to balance things out. But they need to take type of accountability for their building, their home, their finances, or they even could be going to the courts or whatever the case may be. Somebody's going to try to give you a different perspective because they feel like whoever you're dating with, whoever this is, they don't really have any much to contribute. They have a lack of resources, so they're going to tell you the truth. They may even tell you, like, okay, well, yes, even if they were talking about a past person, it seems like they actually need to be fair when it comes to it. There was some type of negative thoughts or whatever the case may be, and they just need to balance them out from multiple ways before you feel like something is wish fulfillment. Somebody may come and tell you about someone that you're dealing with, and they may not feel bad about it. But stability is coming, all right? Just cut your losses and move on. All right, something could be very sad, Sagittarius, but you could be traveling very soon. Some type of spell work was done either in your favor and or against it. Somebody could definitely be selling you a dream. Be careful when it comes to this. Just make sure you balance your energy. Somebody could hate that you had sex with them and or you're going to hate that you had sex with somebody. Who you going to hate that you had sex with if you haven't already? Whether masculine or feminine, this could be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a Taurus, a Libra, a Virgo. Have you on this fire sign? A Capricorn, a Leo. So the answer is going to be no. Somebody's going to hate that you had sex with somebody and or you going to hate it if you do it. Who wants you to support them? This could be a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Have you on the Aquarius, a Taurus, or an Aries. This could be like, okay, well, they're trying to support somebody else. But as they do so, they realize, okay, well, damn, somebody really is either getting away with a situation and or losing control. And then they're going to kind of sit back when it comes to it as well. So it's like, oh, yeah, let's get together and support this one person. And then they're going to start backing off to where you feel like you're going to end up carrying the load of a situation. You're going to feel very much ignored. So be careful when it comes to that. Overall, it's not bad. Let's move on. Hi. All right, now we got Virgo. What's going on with y'all, Virgo? Something about an air sign could be important in an air sign season. Somebody is moving, whether you or somebody around you. There could be a family trip and or vacation that you hear about. If somebody's ex is an earth sign, we'll talk about it. There could be some type of fake documents, fake CPN, or using something to get something else, heavily on a false report. Somebody could be giving some type of false report on someone. So be careful when it comes to that situation. Somebody could be thinking about eloping, or it's like, okay, well, dang, can I really run away with my child? Can I just do this with me and my child? Some type of alignment is going to feel chaotic for you. Don't go outside over somebody. Somebody knows that you're serious and you're standing on business. All right. Who knows that you're serious, Virgo? The song I got for Virgo is The Box by Roddy Ricch. Who knows that you're standing on business? All right, having a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a Gemini, a Libra, an Aries. But somebody may start to ignore you at the point in time that they feel like you're embracing a Virgo or Libra, an Aries, or a Taurus. They feel, okay, well, you decided to leave home and or discover this person and move forward and feel like this is going to be the person, and then you lose some type of money or this type of lack of stability. Somebody's like, okay, well, I can't help you anymore. All right, don't go outside over who. This could be an Aquarius. Somebody that you sleeping with, or they got you in and out of some type of sadness. This could be an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, an Aquarius, a Cancer, a Leo, Scorpio, an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Somebody could be looking out for someone that they could be sleeping with or someone that they could be impulsive with. And then they realize, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to regret this strategy, so it's not really the best opportunity. Somebody's deciding they're going to communicate their boundaries and or just be clear with themselves while they go through a phase. They're going to make a decision to do something for themselves and or to be financially independent. So don't go outside over them. Somebody's going to conform, or don't be worried about what they're going to do or how they're going to get something done. They're going to take some type of action. They're going to be able to make something work. As you're working, there could be somebody that's coming towards you very quickly to say something about how you've been able to conform, what you got to go through, and or type of system, and how you're going to be able to make something work. So something could be a little bit of a challenge when it comes to that, but your mind could be a little conflicted back and forth. All right, who's moving? All right, this could be a Scorpio, a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. Heavy on a water sign, a Taurus, a Gemini. This could be also somebody in your family. Yeah, so you may even overhear them talking about a situation, or this could be somebody that just got married. Who's giving some type of false reports? All right, this could be a Gemini, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Heavy on the water sign, heavy on the Gemini. This also could be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Somebody feels thrown off right now because of some type of ending that they're going through, some type of deep wound that's coming up. They keep making difficult decisions and or giving people the wrong advice, which is causing some type of destruction. They're ignoring something based off of insecurity. They don't have to move forward when it comes to this. All right, now, who's using a fake document or CPN? All right, so this could be a Taurus, Virgo. This could be you, a Leo, a Capricorn, Aquarius, a Taurus, and or an Aries. Now, this has already happened. Somebody could have stabilized even when there's type of debt or something that was one-sided. Somebody's going to try to defend themselves when it comes to stabilizing. So that way, at the point in time that they have to look back and or invest, they'll have the money to do so. If this is you at this point in time trying to do so, no, absolutely not. Now, you may be in your head thinking like, okay, well, this is just a mood or this is just what I'm feeling. I can get past this as long as things go well. Yeah, there's some type of maybe success, but at the same time, there's type of exhaustion or something that could happen, and you're going to have to be overly protective and you're going to lose a whole lot of money. So, no, you don't need to be using that. All right, so if you're running into somebody and their ex is an earth sign, whether this is an earth sign or their ex is an earth sign too, you're going to have to reprioritize and or they're going to reprioritize. Somebody feels, okay, well, I'm just kind of overwhelmed right now. Even though I feel like there's some type of positivity about you, you're attractive, or that I would, enjoy the moment. Somebody's like, okay, well, I just rather focus on work. But something could be a give and take when it comes to it. But somebody separating themselves, or they feel, okay, well, I need to separate myself from someone that I already invested in or someone I gave a whole lot of time to. Somebody wants to find happiness in whatever else that they can master and whatever else that they can do. So it may not work when it comes to them. All right, what's with this air sign, Virgo? So they could be trying to recover this relationship and or just recover themselves. But at the same time, they're avoiding some type of change on purpose just based off of their fear, especially if you're dealing with a Gemini and or a Libra. I said and. You could be dealing with multiple people if you got an air sign around you. There could be a Gemini, a Libra, or a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Somebody doesn't know how they rank up against you. Either against you or against either the people that you got them going against. But this air sign could feel like, okay, well, look, we can resist some type of ending. We can lie to ourselves and other people. We can make sure that we delay some type of disaster. Even if this is going to cause them to be thrown off or cause them to go through some type of guilt, it's going to be a whole lot of conflict. But they're willing to fight for this because they feel like there's somebody else that got your attention or somebody else that they feel like is attractive, and they're in their head by it. Somebody could be triggered by this Leo, Pisces, and Aries, or a Gemini. So somebody's willing to fight for you when it comes to it, even if it causes to their demise. All right, so prepare yourself for that. Let's see. What else do you need to prepare yourself for, Virgo? You could be trying to bypass being overloaded. Okay, so there could be some type of financial issue that's coming up. So prepare yourself. Which kind of sucks because I know your birthday's coming up. Is this after your birthday? It could be before your birthday. So maybe right now in Leo season, you feel like you have enough, but at the same time, you're trying to maintain control and or make sure you can protect yourself or figure out if you have enough to dip in so where you can get a task done. You could be trying to explore some type of belief that you've been limited by or that you've been holding yourself back from. And you're trying to get something done. You may not have the income for it or it may not be the best bet. Because you may do something impulsive and or get something that's like a little too expensive or whatever the case may be. There could be also a person around you. You could be around a fire sign. And it seems like they're trying to get something done as well. So it's like, okay, well, there's going to be some type of issue clashing. Or it's like, okay, well, either one or both y'all can't dive into the same thing somehow, some way. I don't know what that's about. So prepare yourself for this. Also, if you're dating somebody, this could be a fire sign. Heavy on the fire sign. They don't have no money. They're broke. Or they're about to be broke. Especially if they're younger than you. And maybe you don't recognize this at this point in time because you feel like you have enough money or you can provide some type of stability or you can be as generous as you need to. Just as long as they conform or do the things that you want to, you're going to be in your head. If this is not a fire sign, this could be a Taurus and or a Gemini. Somebody's completely broke. And they're in their ego when it comes to it. So somebody's like, okay, well, I feel discredited and you have some type of money or you've been giving me money even though I'm emotionally disappointed. You're going to end up trying to stabilize with somebody that has a major insecurity. And or that's codependent. And or just like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to school. Or yeah, I'm trying to get something traditional or whatever. But I still don't really know how I feel about that either. They're going to be confused in Scorpio season when it comes to it. It's like, you know what? Maybe I'm overwhelmed. Maybe I do lack resources. I'm just going to give up. They may not even continue whatever this is. So be careful when it comes to you choosing somebody. Somebody ain't going, it's like, oh, well, you went from bad to worse. Somehow, some way. All right. Something about a same sex. You could be in a same sex relationship or know somebody who is. Make sure you're taking a lunch break. You're eating properly. You're drinking enough water. There's a new Pisces that's out here. If there was something that was done against you, it's broken. If somebody tried to do against, or you try to do against somebody else, that's broken. It is the Scorpio. Somebody could be jealous of the money that you make. You could be scared or paranoid about leaving a person, a house, and or a job. But there is another way. There is another choice. And maybe you're going to talk someone into one. Something about the DMV could be important. Your license plate, your tags, getting something towed or getting something. Hopefully nobody's getting a car totaled. But maybe you have to pay for something. It's okay. Well, what's the total for it? If you're a masculine, you need to get a DNA test, period. If this hasn't happened yet, prepare yourself to get one. Somebody's going to be paranoid and or scared to leave another person because they don't know whose baby it is. All right, success comes from completing goals, so get shit done. Something may be reinstated or reinstalled, especially if you're moving. All right, let's move on. Somebody don't want to play no games. That's Chris Brown. All right, Cancer. What's going on with y'all? You can be coming back home or you could be going back to a situation. Somebody could be in a red or a white car. Maybe you know someone that has a red or white car. Maybe you're renting a car. Somebody could also be coming at you for no reason. Yes, you need to embrace some type of pause and or break, even if it makes you a little scary. Somebody could be secretly wanting to text you or you're secretly texting somebody else or you're going to realize who somebody's been secretly texting. It's like, damn, hopefully this is not your homie. This is not somebody that you know. There also could be somebody that you used to know. And it's like, damn, they used to be the popular kid or the person at work. And it's like, they don't want to shits when it comes to it. Keep it 100 with yourself and or them. If you had a time frame question, no, it's not yet. But you can give yourself a break, okay, if you want to be done for the day. A situation is never going to work out. Okay, somebody could be too embarrassed to ask for help, so they could be trying to scam and or be seen as a scammer. Who's a scammer for a Cancer? The song I got planned for y'all is Hours and Hours. Who's a scammer? All right, so there's a Pisces, an Aries, a Sagittarius, a Leo, a Capricorn, a Sagittarius. Somebody's attached to their own independence and or making sure that they can self-care or do something for themselves. They lack some type of direction and or they procrastinate. And so they're going to need to moderate a situation where they feel unprotected and or feel like, okay, well, damn, I'm going to have to give something up. They're going to end up paying into something and or trying to pay into something that's going to end up causing some type of misdirection. So they're either going to pay a scammer and or say, damn, I got scammed. Or something ain't going to work out when it comes to that. That could be somebody in your family. Who's too embarrassed to ask for help? All right, Cancer. This could be you, especially if you're a mother. This could be a Gemini, an Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Leo. Heavy on a Leo, masculine or feminine. Heavy on a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a Gemini. Somebody could be in their head right now, but they could be lying. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree because they don't want to be embarrassed or they don't want to clear some type of emotions up at this point in time. But they could be in their head. Either they feel like you're being sneaky or they could be watching some type of a Virgo or a Sagittarius. Somehow they're side-eyeing somebody, but they don't really want to talk about it. All right, who's the person that's secretly texting? All right, this could be a Pisces, an Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Heavy on the Virgo. Oh, that says Taurus. Okay, we'll do both of them. Who's the Taurus texting? They're texting the Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Who's the Pisces texting? They're texting the Earth sign too. Child, hopefully they ain't texting the same person. Who is this Earth sign texting the Virgo? They're texting a Scorpio or a Taurus. All right, what's never going to work out? If you're trying to one more time when it comes to a situation because you feel like somebody has type of accomplishment, they've been able to develop themselves or take some type of action, it's not going to work out. Okay, somebody's overly protective. Somebody could feel like, okay, well, right now I'm in the mode where I'm a little exhausted during Leo season. Even if I'm trying to nurture myself or just kind of develop myself. They may be going back and forth about trying one more time, but at the same time, they're not going to tell you. They're going to keep it to themselves because they feel, okay, well, I've always had to work alone or this is going to make me disorganized. Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. So FYI when it comes to it. Be done for the day if you feel like you need to be. Who lost a good referral? This could be a business owner. This could be a Virgo, a Scorpio, a Gemini, or an Aries. And yes, they know it. All right, who's coming at you for no reason, Cancer? Somebody also could be wanting to reconcile. Something about the color red could be important, and or green. There could be a Libra that's coming at you for no reason, a Virgo, a Pisces, or an Aries. All right, somebody could hate the fact that you feel blessed or that you're relaxed. Let's see. What are they coming at you for? What's this Pisces and this Aries want? They want to actually have a friendship with you or they wanted to in the beginning. They feel like you didn't have a time or you were going through some type of cycle and now they feel like, okay, well, I'd rather just run you away or make you feel like I'm the person that's confident or I'm better than you. Somehow somebody could be comparing themselves to you. That's why when it comes to that. Why is this Virgo coming at you? Because they feel like, okay, well, I had a whole lot of money or I had a whole lot of time or I was able to do whatever I wanted to. They feel like they met someone new and now they're heartbroken. They're going through a separation. They could be also trying to get back on their feet and or plan a date with someone. They feel like, okay, well, I can keep a positive mindset when it comes to it. But then they feel like there's something that you either start, something that you say, or there's something that they feel like, okay, well, now they gonna know that there's another woman around. Somebody feels like you dined them out somehow, some way. Okay, what's going on with this Libra? Why are they coming at you? So this Libra doesn't want something to grow. It's like, okay, well, I'm just trying to do something with love or I want to be embraced or loved in a certain type of way. They feel like they have some type of clarity or they should be able to say or do something that they want to. But somebody can be reminiscing on something that happened in the past. And it's like, okay, well, they feel like you are moving on or you have enough to be able to do something for them. They could be feeling a little left out. And they could be just coming at you just because. So that's why when it comes to that. All right, somebody's around acting like a parent, but they're not really a parent. They're not taking care of their responsibilities. Even if this is like, oh, well, I'm paying child support, but they're not taking care of the actual kid, or they don't want you to go teach your kid how to read, how to wipe their butt, or whatever the case this is. All right, so this could definitely be a Virgo. This could be a Leo, a Cancer, a Gemini, a Taurus, or a Sagittarius. Masculine or feminine. Somebody's not taking care of their kids the way that they should. All right, when are you getting out of this pause and or break, Cancer? Good morning. Give it until Scorpio season. So just be innocent with your day. Just see how things are going to balance out for you. Just see what else you can do and what else you can't do, and just let it go. Because you don't need this to lead to some type of self-doubt and or feel like, okay, well, now you're being punished or now you got to destruct something because you thought that something was going to play out the way that you want to. So just be careful when it comes to that. Embrace whatever this pause or break is. All right, who's planning on having sex, or who you about to have sex with? All right, this could be an Aquarius, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ooh, I hope you're not reconciling with a fire sign. An Aries, a Taurus. Maybe I'm a Taurus, an Aquarius. Maybe a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If this is a fire sign and you reconciling with them, the answer is absolutely no. And maybe this is going to happen at the point in time that you're wanting to celebrate, or he's like, okay, well, I just want to figure out if we can have a good time, but this still is not hitting the milestone that you wanted to hit. You feel like this is lacking some type of direction, but you're just working through it for the moment. You also feel like there's something that needs to be worked on when it comes to a child going to school and or not getting some type of hobbies or whatever the case may be. There also could be somebody that's sleeping around. Somebody could be a hoe. This could be an Aries, a Virgo, a Taurus. So FYI when it comes to that. If you're not sleeping with them, they could be planning on sleeping with somebody. They are. They're going to end up a part of some type of scandal. Somebody may call you and say, hey, can you come get me? Or I need some type of help. Or I need you to do something for me because I was doing something and there's some type of unexpected delay or some type of issue. Somebody's definitely going to call you. This could be somebody that you're friends with and or that's in your family. And you could have thought that this person have already learned from some type of mistake. Or it's like, okay, well, are you paying for this? Or, child, let's get up out of this. I don't know what that's about. All right. Anything else for Cancer? Somebody could be a pedophile. Oh, Lord. There could be some type of increase in sales and or clientele, especially if you're a business owner. Someone with the initial J could be important, first, middle, or last. You could be planning a wedding or knowing someone who is. It's not the Sagittarius, okay? Let's see. What's not the Sagittarius for Cancer? If you feel like, okay, well, there was some type of issue where y'all couldn't work together before and now they have some type of bright idea, they done work through the truth and they're coming off confident, no. Somebody's going to end up either pregnant or just kind of sitting on their ass and you're going to end up in your emotions by Pisces season. So, no, you don't need to deal with the Sagittarius. There could be some type of co-workers, neighbors, or somebody that's trying to team up against you. There also could be someone that's wanting to get to know you. You could be moving out and or knowing someone who did. Be transparent about a situation and or you will. Somebody's going to be searching for a reason to fight. We already know that they're coming at you for no reason. You really are an issue. Is this in a good way? Yeah, it is. So once you move on, Cancer, it's just like, you know what? You don't really care. You turn your back and you focus on something else. And then people come back towards you like, okay, well, you really are an issue or something is unfair. But the only issue is that you're moving on to bigger things. You don't feel guilty about leaving anybody who is moody or who was to try to emotionally manipulate you or try to make you feel like you didn't have as many choices. So somebody could be telling you that you're an issue because you're moving on. All right, let's move on. Now we got Taurus. No, you didn't miss Taurus. All right, you have to make a decision, Taurus. You have to choose. Okay, it's just that simple. Saving them means hurting you. There could be some type of surprise that's coming towards you. You definitely gonna have to burn some type of bridge. Something could be happening at random. Make sure you're not being nice and somebody's taking it like you're stupid, or don't be stupid just so way somebody can feel like you're nice. All right, you may not have the full context of somebody that's around you. This could be somebody that has multiple siblings if you don't. Maybe you only have one, or maybe you're the only child. Somebody's not responding to them, and or somebody's not going to be responding to you. If somebody's not responding to them, it's because somebody walked away. All right? They don't know what you're feeling. They don't know what they're feeling, but they're willing to gossip and or slander another person. So, no, you don't need to help somebody. Who are we talking about? I feel like we're talking about someone specific. Okay, so somebody want to challenge some issue. They don't want to feel like, okay, well, I do overindulge, I do something too much, or I can't be satisfied. Somebody's trying to challenge something within themselves, so they're trying to be slow and have a routine with you. Who are we talking about? And you can't help them. All right, so this could be a Taurus, a Gemini, a Taurus, and Aries. Heavy on the Aries, a Leo, a Virgo, a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, an Aquarius, a Pisces. Taurus, somebody can be feeling this about you. A Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Or again, it's another Taurus. Heavy on a Leo and or a Virgo. So no, you can't help them. Now, who is this gossip and slander coming out about? All right, this could be regarding an earth sign. Heavy on a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, a Sagittarius, and or a Scorpio. Let's see, what is this gossip about? Somebody may try to tell you some type of secret. It's like, oh, well, somebody only told me about some type of situation, or somebody only told me about something that they feel like is coming or what's happening. So let me figure out if they really have some type of control, or they could be trying to tell you about a situation. They feel like something that they told them was not really a good opportunity, something that's not practical. So they could be trying to tell you somebody else's secret. It's like, well, somebody disclosed to me that there's type of threat or something that's be happening behind the scenes or whatever the case may be, but they're still trying to control something or acting like there's something that's going on. This could be related to an ending and or a water sign. Heavy on a water sign. And they feel like, okay, well, they just need to go ahead and transition and go ahead and surrender this and be patient. It's like they're trying to talk shit. It's like, oh, so-and-so don't know what they're doing. So-and-so, no. They're trying to do this, that, and the third. And this is what they told me. And, you know, it's just careless and reckless. But then there's going to be some type of investigation, or they're going to keep their head down, or once they walk away, they're going to think, okay, well, damn, actually somebody wasn't aggressive. They was lacking some type of discipline, but they actually hit some type of stability and or something comes true. So it ends up changing your perspective about the person that's telling you. Because it's like, okay, well, why do you feel the weight in or feel like you have to carry the burden of clearing something up and or talking about it? You don't see the point in somebody gossiping and or trying to feed into something. It's like, okay, so what does this do? What do I do with this information? You don't feel the need of disclosing that to you. You don't care. You could feel like somebody's trying to control them. You could feel like this person that's telling you is trying to control some type of threat. Yeah, and they are. Because they feel like whoever it is that they're talking about has some type of self-confidence, or they've been able to recognize another person, or they've been recognized by someone all of a sudden. And all of a sudden they get some type of success. And maybe even have options. So somebody feels threatened. And they're going to come towards you and try to gossip and slander when this happens. So maybe that's going to be your sign to walk away from a person for sure. All right. Let's see. Who doesn't know what you're feeling, Taurus? All right, this could be a Pisces. Taurus, you may not know what you're feeling when it comes to a situation. This could be a Virgo, an Aquarius, an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, a Scorpio. Somebody feels like, okay, well, a Sagittarius. Somebody could feel like, okay, well, it's clear that you're trying to take some type of action and or you're trying to look at the bigger picture when it comes to a situation. They could be wanting to reconcile and or work through some type of disappointment. But they could feel like, okay, well, they're not sure if they're actually overwhelmed or unprepared, or underly prepared for this. They could be disappointed in how they have to support themselves. Yeah, there's something that they feel like they've overspent on, or that they need to just figure out how they can cut when it comes to their spending. And they're a little burnt out when it comes to it. Somebody doesn't know what you're feeling and or what they're feeling when it comes to it. How they're going to get out of it. Especially if you recently walked away. Yeah, you could feel like there was just something that you just was not happy with, or it just wasn't worth it. You feel like you was wasting some type of time. You had some type of sudden awareness of, okay, well, this is the moment that you're going to walk away. And maybe you're feeling a little down and or depressed about it after you were feeling arrogant. You can feel like, okay, well, damn, now you feel like there's something that you can't really commit to, or you feel like something that's not really going your way. Things are going backwards when it needs to. But in the end, it all works, especially by Virgo season. You had to get to, there was some type of desire to forgive or make some type of amends. You had to trust yourself when it comes to a process. And or they did. All right. Who's not responding to you? Well, who's not going to respond to you if you reach out? This could be somebody new. This could be somebody that has some type of, even if they don't have like a platform, they could just be posting random things about what's going on in the city, like, oh, how they go to the gym or whatever. You could just be asking them a random question. Something like that could be important. This could be a Leo, a Pisces, an Aquarius, a Taurus. Somebody may not be responding to you. All right, somebody has multiple siblings. Okay, so somebody is patient. They know how to be able to adapt, work the room, and or work emotions. They may present something towards you that looks very stable. They could be very much charming, but they lack some type of long-term success. And they actually may end up feel like, okay, well, damn, I don't have some type of money, or I can't keep the words, or keep up with my word, keep up with the things that I said I wanted to do. They can't manage their money well. They're going to have to work through a whole lot of issues. They may work a lot as well. So it's like, okay, well, you don't really even see them anymore, and they don't even have the money to show for it. So it's like, okay, well, you know, thanks for the 4 hours a day or 4 hours a week. I don't know. All right, who doesn't have the full context? It's like, read the room. It could be a Libra, a Scorpio, a Cancer, and or a Capricorn. Somebody could be fixated on either some type of sexual energy and or some type of boredom. It's like, okay, well, look, you're going to end up feeling like there's something that you can't really protect or something that you're lacking confidence in. So go ahead and separate yourself from being moody about it. And so it's like, okay, well, now they have to be independent. They have to figure out, okay, well, where's this weakness or independence in themselves in order to stabilize? So FYI when it comes to that. His friends know. Right now I'm listening. I forgot to tell y'all. I'm listening to Cry Baby by Megan Thee Stallion. All right, love is freeing and not controlling. So if you're recovering and you're watching and figuring out, okay, well, who can you respond to? Who can you date? Or who's keeping an eye out for you? Make sure you're not going towards anybody that's strategic and or that feels like you have to follow their guidelines. Because it's going to make you feel like, okay, well, you're going to be very much thrown off. You're going to feel stuck and feel like, okay, well, what's the point of this? Where is this going? Especially if you're dealing with an Aries. An Aquarius, heavy on the air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Maybe another Taurus. All right. So protect your peace overall. Somebody could be calling you like, okay, well, do you need something? Can I provide something towards you? And or maybe somebody's even calling you with an attitude. It's like, well, what do you need now? Somebody could also need a babysitter. All right. You don't have the reassurance. So hold back when it comes to somebody, especially if you're having sex with them. Somebody could be trying it for the last time. You just need to wait and see. Somebody could have been the only one that thought something was hilarious, and or again, somebody's going to tell you something and you're not going to think it's funny. Somebody could have tried to go and find another you. It's too late for someone to abort a pregnancy, okay? Somebody could be trying to spend time with you so you'll wait, you don't move on, but there's going to be some type of plot twist when it comes to that. And maybe you'll end up telling somebody to shut the fuck up. You may not want to hear something particular. We'll figure out what this is. This could be related to a job loss. Let's see. Is this you, Taurus? Yes, your energy. So yes, that could be something that you may feel like there's some type of job loss. If you're going to school for something, you may feel like, oh, well, I actually am not going to make money in this industry. Oh, it's not. There's something that you're trying to conform to that you may feel like, okay, well, you're not going to really have any type of control over it. All right, what else is it you're not going to want to hear? Somebody's adapting. And as they adapt, it seems like they become more arrogant and or careless when it comes to y'all relationship. So you're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel like, okay, well, damn, somebody truly lost their way. Even if they're still trying to influence you. And or they could tell you, oh, well, this is because of somebody else. And you feel like, oh, well, no, that's not fair. We still should be able to stabilize. So this could be regarding a Leo, a Virgo, a Capricorn, and or a Cancer. Maybe a Sagittarius. So it's like whatever they're trying to tell you is like, yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. Go ahead and shut the fuck up about that. All right. So go ahead and move on from them. Who's trying to spend time with you so you don't move on? All right, so there could be this Leo, this Libra, a Pisces, a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Having a fire sign, a Capricorn, a Cancer. So I'm guessing this is somebody that you already know. Somebody could be trying to spend time with you so that way you don't move on. Now, it's too late to abort a pregnancy, but who is considering it? Which sometimes I feel like it could be a natural part of pregnancies, but they're seriously considering it. This could be an earth sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, a Leo, or a Libra. So it may be too late when it comes to that. They're going to have to slow down. They feel, okay, well, let me just wait and see. And they still having sex with that person? Oh, dang, they are. And they're not even motivated when it comes to it. Who they sleeping with? Let's just get in their business a little bit. I don't know why you want to know. All right. Taurus, they're sleeping with the Leo, a Pisces, a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a Capricorn, a Sagittarius, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a Libra. FYI. All right. This plot twist, is this going in your favor? No. That actually may lead to some type of tension and or some type of issue. There could be a fire sign around and or a water sign that's going to make some type of decision. And this may make you feel like, okay, well, yeah, I actually don't want to talk about this and or embrace this love or whatever this is. This is going to make you want to work on another situation, another person, and or just something else that you feel like you can put your time and energy towards. Somebody also may feel like, okay, well, they're conflicted because they were trying to work through a situation. They feel like, okay, well, we can move forward. There's some type of playfulness here, but you know, it's not as much as it used to be. But maybe they're not really talking about some type of decision and or what they need in order to actually get that back. And so they're coming off like, okay, well, they have some type of confidence and or clarity, but then they're still mixed emotions. So y'all could be going back and forth, but still act like everything is all good. Maybe in front of other people or just in general. So whatever this plot twist is, it may not be good. All right, who went to find another you? We're going to get about your energy. Hey, hey. This could be a Sagittarius, Cancer. This could be you, or you were dealing with another Cancer. A Leo, a Cancer, Scorpio, a Pisces, and or a Taurus. Cancer. We're on Taurus. I don't know why I called you Cancer. Maybe you're dealing with a Cancer. You're about to be. I don't know. Something about Luther Vandross could be important. Maybe somebody listening to some type of playlist. All right, let's move on. Let's change decks. All right, Leo, happy birthday. Hope y'all are having a good season. Hey, hey. I don't even know when y'all season ends. What's going on for Leo? You could be trying to be nice to someone that was emotionally manipulative to you. And maybe you're trying to get past this because you feel like there's something about them that's not as strong as it used to be. You could be trying to show love to someone so that way they can have type of vision and or they can see something the way that you see it and be able to move forward. Or maybe there's something that you can't really control when it comes to your emotions. So even when you talk to them about moving forward or what's next, you feel like, okay, well, there's still some type of lie or just something that's some type of elephant in the room. So either you're lying about your wishes being fulfilled and or they are. Because somebody feels like, okay, well, I'm not really as determined or I don't really overhear situations going the way I want to. So they could be fixated on moving forward and or putting their mind on something else. There also could be a water sign masculine. It feels like, okay, well, I'm trying to move forward when it comes to a lie. I'm going to go talk to somebody else and just figure out if there's going to be some type of disappointment or if there's going to be a situation that I got to walk away from, if I got to see the bigger picture, or if my wish is going to be fulfilled, even if there's a legal issue or some type of paperwork that comes towards them. But then they're going to feel like, okay, well, damn, I'm going to have to work through a situation. I'm going to have to get an attorney. I don't know, they get some type of message and or they feel, okay, well, I'm going to have to follow my heart and or figure out how to make things work with some type of structure. But they also could be lying about their wishes being fulfilled. There could be two different masculines around. They could be an air sign masculine and somebody's like, okay, well, I'm trying to collaborate with someone that's flirting with me or trying to give me the impression that we can move forward, even if they're lying. They're trying to give this person the vision because they feel like either you or another person out here. It's like, okay, well, yes, we have conversations and things seem like a wish fulfillment, but there's still some type of despair. So FYI, when it comes to that, either there's two men and or two women that's out here. And maybe you can't really control how something moves forward, even if you're trying to be nice to someone, even if you feel like it would be a wish fulfillment because somebody's lying about their structure and or their mindset. They're actually not determined to make this work at all. But at the same time, they want to feel into some type of dream. They want to feel like, okay, well, this is how I would want somebody to reconcile. This is how I would want to go on vacation with my person. This is how I would want to do something. So that they give it like, oh, okay, well, oh, let's look at this. Let's carve this out. Let's do it. Until something truly becomes a burden. They're not going to separate themselves. So don't get yourself in too deep when it comes to a situation. Because maybe you feel like you guys are trying to talk your way through a situation. And somebody's like, okay, well, they're being sensitive to what you're saying. Until they switch up on you. All right, what else is going on? Something about a dog could be important. Maybe you used to have a dog if you don't have a dog right now. What's going on with Leo? You could be trying to find some type of direction secretly. You're trusted in whatever a new opportunity that's coming towards you or whatever you're trying to sign up for, that it's going to lead you to either working together and or just feeling closer with yourself or other people. But make sure you're not trusting somebody who's a rival. Because as you come into a situation and you're the newcomer, you can feel like there's some type of secret, some type of hidden agenda, or there's something that you're left out of. And you can feel very much confused. It's like, okay, well, damn. You know, I had this coworker, this associate bring me into this club, into this gym. And now I feel like everybody watching me or everybody looking at me. Or now I don't know what the, terms and conditions are. There could be something that you don't really know who to talk to. Or it's like, yeah, you don't really know what's going on. Something could make you feel a little left out. If you also could be double backing on something, it's like maybe somebody told you something in secrecy or somebody told you some type of secret and trust and about a rival or just somebody that you feel like you walked away from. You may try to show up to that person. It's like, okay, well, look, I know that you have a lot of things on your plate or you feel like there's things that are urgent, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that you're not connected with this one person as you go through a breakthrough. And you may send some type of message or screenshot about why. Maybe initially you were trusting some type of rival because you feel like, okay, well, I'm newly separated from the same person that they had walked away from. And then there's some type of idea or something that you feel like, okay, well, I could just walk through this door. If you separate yourself from anything that have you in some type of grief or regret that you feel overwhelmed by. So you're going to reverse some type of secret. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I was willing to hold this in or keep something quiet. But you feel like you're going through a shortage or there's something that you feel like you don't want to upkeep for yourself. And this is just something that's kind of either shocking you and or just haunting you. So you may end up telling something to somebody. If this is not you, somebody could be telling something to you. Who can tell you something, Leo? This could be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Heavy on a water sign. This also could be a Taurus, a Leo, another Leo, or you're going to somebody else. This could be an Aquarius, a Capricorn, or a Cancer. All right, so FYI when it comes to that. What else? I'm here. Fuck the police. Oh, Lord. Hopefully nobody getting pulled over. Someone could be sleeping on the couch, whether this is you, Leo, or somebody else. You may need to pull out some type of receipts, or maybe you were expecting somebody to pull out their card and pay for something and they didn't. Something about a long distance call and or you being long distance could be important. Somebody could be getting out of jail. You could be opening a business and or starting a new business, starting a new job. Your prayers were heard, and no, you're not confused. Painful things are ending for you. You just need to adjust. Who's getting out of jail? This could also be happening in Leo season if this is not somebody that you know personally. Somebody could have a problem with spending money before they get it. This could be a Libra, a Taurus, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, a Capricorn, Aquarius, a Sagittarius. Somebody's getting out of jail and they're going to start adjusting. And it's like, okay, well, great. You're not confused when it comes to a situation. Somebody was misaligned. Somebody was disconnected and they were dealing with someone that gave them bad advice. They could have been dealing with a Pisces, an Aquarius, a Pisces, or a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Leo. And it's like, okay, well, now whatever struggling relationship that they left, they took some type of bad advice because they were moody. And then this led to something being one-sided. And so once they get out of jail, it's like, okay, well, let me walk away and let me make sure that I'm being practical. They're trying to get something to work, but there's some type of either harsh mentality and or some type of harsh conversation that needs to happen. I don't know. Who's giving misleading information? There could be a Scorpio out here that's lying. Cancer, hopefully it's not you, Leo, but there could be another one. But heavy on the Cancer, for sure. Heavy on the Scorpio. Somebody's out here giving misleading information. They're doing so on purpose. All right. Who's pulling out some type of receipts? This could be a water sign, a fire sign, heavy on the fire sign, and or an air sign. All right. If this is you pulling out some type of receipts, you could be trying to show someone that there was some type of manipulation and or somebody was actually trying to destruct the situation by a conversation. I'm telling you, you're pulling out some type of secrecy. You're talking about something that was bypassed, even if you feel like time had already passed, or this is not something that people are even worried about anymore. You still could be in your head by it. So you about to be talking about some type of receipts, or it's like, okay, well, I got the proof. I'll tell you exactly what was happening. Or maybe this even is like a goodbye, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to send this, and whatever they say, they say. Whatever they don't, they don't. But you want to get something off of your own chest. And or again, somebody's going to pull out some type of receipts and get something off their chest with you. All right, if you're dealing with somebody that's karmic, let's go into this because it's your birthday, and we're going to get up out your reading. Okay, somebody could be trying to stabilize right now. So somebody's going to want you to answer their call, do any and everything that they want you to do. It's like, I'm not your slave. You could be dealing with a fire sign, an air seal Sagittarius, more specifically an Aries, a Scorpio, a Virgo, maybe an air sign. Somebody's like, okay, well, I can stabilize with having a new start. I'll make sure that I have some type of comfort to myself first before I do so. But then they end up losing some type of money. They're unable to make things work. And it seems like anything that they had, they were able to master. As they get things to master, they're going to have to focus on recovering and or having some type of moment to breathe and or rest. Because there's too many confusion and emotions and or addictions. So it's like, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's like, okay, well, somebody finally gets their house. Somebody finally get on their feet. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, you can come over. Or, yeah, I'm just making sure that I get enough furniture or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, they need to go on some type of breathing treatment. Now, all of a sudden, they need physical therapy. Now, there's another issue because they were dealing with too many people. All right, so expect that, Leo, when it comes to somebody that you know is karmic, either that you were dealing with or somebody else was. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Pisces. Let me see. I think somebody sent in for a personal. Are we doing a question or a reading? What's your sign? Let me log in. I'm listening to Let Them Know by T.I. Who was that, Leo? What am I doing? Oh, I'm signing in. Now Preach by Young Dolph is on. All right, so we're doing a question. Let me get a different deck. Position. They just want to have my baby. All right, let's see. Left him 2 months ago. Wait, what was your question? Okay, what's the question? Retype it. Because I don't see your actual question, though. Left him 2 months ago. 2 days after I left, he got with your best friend. She's pregnant. What's their sign? What's the man's sign? What's the woman's sign? No, it's not going to last. It's a challenge, but I'll tell you what's going on. Oh, he just said that same bitch that said she love you, she'll set you up. Somebody's a leech, or they're going to both be a leech. All right, they're both Pisces. Is this the woman? Okay, so somebody feel like they were trying to avoid some type of decision and or something happening. They were just trying to cooperate and or just release some type of tension. So they're going to be like, oh, well, this wasn't my intention. This just happened, or it happened all of a sudden. I made some type of decision because I had to be practical, or da-da-da-da-da. They're going to try to give you some type of story when it comes to it. Somebody's going to want to try to compromise when it comes to it and or reconciling with you at the point in time that you have type of practicality. You could be trying to decide if something's practical when it comes to your lifestyle, and you could be in your head about this type of routine. Because maybe you have to be slow and steady, or just be patient, or just be consistent until it pays off. So you could be in your head when it comes to a situation. The woman's coming back towards you. Okay. I don't want to talk about the pregnancy. So just FYI when it comes to that, but somebody may be in their emotions. I'm going to leave it at that. We don't wish nothing bad on anybody when it comes to a baby. What's going on with this man? Okay, so they're going to feel exhausted almost immediately. They could have been exhausted. Yeah, they was exhausted when they were told that the girl was pregnant. But they feel, okay, well, I desire to be seen a certain type of way and or to be innovative. But they could feel thrown off when it comes to their resources and or how they can provide to this and contribute to it. They also could be going silent on this person. It's like, okay, well, yes, we can secure something and or look like we're contributing to something long term. But at the same time, they want to be able to influence some type of misdirection or do something on their own. So, no, it's not going to be working. They never change their character. Okay? FYI when it comes to it. All right, let me see. Did anybody else send in for a question before we go into Pisces reading? Let me make sure. Okay, cool. All right, Pisces, let's go into your reading. You're welcome. All right, so Pisces, you could be having some type of mood swings or something's going to change your mood. Somebody could be trying to get some type of information, and you're going to be asking them how they found out. All right, lower your defenses, not your boundaries. You need some type of boundaries. Hold tight. Somebody's going to send you some type of message. You may never return to a hometown and or a city. You may enjoy it whenever you're alone with just you and your kids and nobody else around. Something about another water sign could be important. Somebody's like, okay, well, no, we never dated or whatever the case may be, but there is going to be some type of karmic justice for you or just something that's like, okay, well, karma is karma, whether good or bad. So make sure you're not lying to anybody because misery loves company. Somebody could be trying to make you jealous. Somebody also could be liking your work. Somebody Aquarius could be important. You could be bringing happiness to others, but at the same time, maybe you feel like there's no high hopes for yourself. Who in the world is this calling me? Decline. Somebody doesn't want to be baby, okay? You could have a dog or just somebody like a best friend or an old friend could be important. Maybe you also need to get into the gym. If you don't actually want to work out, go like jump roping, go boxing, go find something creative you can do when it comes to working out. All right, no high hopes when it comes to who? What song is this? If it's fuck me, then it's fuck you, and that's the way I like it. That's SZA. All right, no high hopes for who? Good morning. All right, this could be with you, Pisces, or another one. Aries, a Virgo, an Aries, a Cancer, a Sagittarius. Somebody also may be talking online because she keeps saying chat, and that's distracting me. Somebody could be trying to distract you if you work online, or maybe you feel like there's something that's causing you to be distracted. Maybe there's a kid around that's moody because you're online, or somebody could be like, okay, well, I'm just kind of call you to tell you about a situation, and you're not even focused when it comes to it. Somebody could be feeling like they're overwhelmed by their choices, and or could be in their emotions by it, especially if you're online. All right, FYI when it comes to that. Somebody could be liking your work. Who's trying to make you jealous? I almost called you Cancer. Who's trying to make you jealous, Pisces? Somebody could be wondering if you're still watching them. This could be a Scorpio. This could be an Aquarius, a Pisces, or a Sagittarius. Somebody's like, okay, well, initially you were taking a whole lot of action. You were coming quickly. You were trying to make sure that things were working. And now it seems like you are more kind of step back. You're moody, or you're trying to figure out exactly what's good advice and what's not. They feel like you're not really directing yourself in or them. And maybe you feel, okay, well, you have high expectations or just something that's not really planning out the way that you wanted to as well. There could be somebody else around you, either a mother, a sibling, or somebody around that you feel like has type of insecurity about whatever's going on. So FYI when it comes to that. All right, who's in misery that wants some type of company? All right, this could be an earth sign, more specifically a Capricorn, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a Pisces, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Okay. A water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Misery loves company. And I wasn't finna turn that over. Somebody may not even want to inspect someone. Somebody not looking at charts. Somebody not looking at something. And it's like, okay, well, you can't make somebody jealous if you out here getting sick now. Okay, so there could be an air sign, heavy on the air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, a Pisces, whether you or somebody else. There could be a Virgo, a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a Scorpio, and or a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, somebody's not paying attention. And say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to have type of happiness, even though I'm sad or there's type of regret. There's something that I'm just going to carve out for type of time, or there's somebody I know, whether they're young or not. They be out here having the time of their life that I can contribute to, give money to, or whatever the case may be. And they're going to be confused and they're going to be kind of reckless and they're not really going to care. And then end up with some type of STD and it's like, damn, now there's a health issue. This has not happened yet. Somebody does have the option to change, but they could be lying to themselves and or they could be trying to hold on. So, but this could be happening between now and Scorpio season. And they could feel like, okay, well, damn, now I'm overly exhausted. They're going to end up having to come clean in the end. All right, let's leave it alone. Somebody that you never dated. Let's talk about you, Pisces. Who's somebody that you never dated? There's a Scorpio, a Cancer, Scorpio, a Pisces, a Libra, an Aries, and or a Taurus. What's with the Scorpio? Somebody feels like, okay, well, you make them comfortable or they make you feel comfortable. It's something that you're familiar with, whether y'all both go to the same location or y'all from the same city, whatever this is. If you take action to send somebody a message, they are going to respond to it. It's like, okay, well, yeah, let's just respect differences, but they're going to say no. It's like, okay, well, yeah, thank you. I always looked at you too, or I'm flattered or whatever, but they end up saying no. If this is an Aries or a Taurus that you never dated, somebody could be feeling a little stuck right now. So they could be lying about going through some type of transition. They could just be wanting to be embraced when it comes to this. So you're going to end up feeling ignored, or they're going to end up ignoring you. If this is another water sign that you've never dated, somebody may flirt only because they feel like they're insecure about another person. They also could be trying to manipulate another person that they feel like has put them on the back burner. Okay, so just move past whatever this destruction is when it comes to this Libra. They have a past person that's still in their head, so no, it's not going to work with them either. But they may not have somebody that they're secretly texting. They may not have somebody that they feel like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm trying to push up on multiple people. But they still have their ex in their mind and or in their heart. And it's like, okay, well, they're not trying to be practical when it comes to an actual relationship. So FYI when it comes to them. All right, what's going on with another water sign for you, Pisces? Good morning. Yes, this is for Pisces. Okay, so somebody could have been very confident. Somebody could be very attractive and or very determined. And as you give into this, you're going to realize that somebody is either greedy and or lazy. They don't really learn their lessons. They don't really care to do so. It's like, okay, well, as long as things are aligned for me and I don't really have to go through emotions and or figure it out, then I don't really care. But then there could be some type of bad choices they make and you may not be able to pay for it, or there could be something that's like, okay, well, this is just a little too much. You feel a little exhausted when it comes to it. All right, who's going to send you a message? You just need to hold out when it comes to it. This could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces, a Capricorn. Heavy on the Capricorn. This could be an Aquarius, a Taurus, and or a Gemini. Heavy on the Gemini. Somebody's going to send you a message first. Is this going to go in your favor? Yes, it will. Somebody feels like they're going through some type of turning point when it comes to their emotions and or them being moody. And whatever imagination that they had or whatever they created. They feel, okay, well, I just want to make some type of decision versus missing some type of chance and or putting in some type of bad investment. Somebody's going to feel like they see your value. But just be careful because there could also be some type of scandal end up coming out when it comes to this. So if you don't feel the same way, make sure you be honest when it comes to that situation. Or they're going to have to be honest with you. Somebody may not feel the same if you approach them. All right? So you may have to lower your defenses but keep your boundaries. Now, this also could be a friendship, a co-worker, or just somebody else around you, a neighbor. Somebody could low-key hate how you're able to get things done or how you seem to have all that you need. Somebody could be mentally conflicted over themselves. That either they're trying to steal or trying to figure out how they can be strategic when it comes to something particular. So know that somebody can't really hurt you, but just have your guard up at least a little bit. Because someone feels like, okay, well, dang, I don't know if you're going to leave your car unlocked or if there's something that you're going to do and I can just kind of see it or check without it being an issue. Because, again, somebody's overwhelmed. Be careful when it comes to people that surround you. All right. You may need to go for a bike ride, or, again, you going to the gym could be important. When it comes to your mood swings, Pisces, you may have to verify something, or somebody, you could definitely be anxious. This could be regarding an air sign, if not a Gemini. This could be involving a Cancer, a Pisces, an Aquarius, a Leo, a Virgo, a Libra. Okay, so you could be anxious because you feel like there's something that's just kind of misaligned, something that you don't really want to do. It's like, yeah, I want to separate myself from this. You don't even want to go in a direction, so it's kind of fucking with your day somehow, some way. It's fucking with your emotions. You also could be feel like you're dealing with someone that's very much systematic. They don't really care to put emotions in it or talk about something particular. It's like, okay, well, we just need to figure out why somebody was misdirected and or where something went wrong when it comes to a situation. Some type of building, some type of home, and or some type of struggling relationship. Somehow this could make you anxious. Okay? Or somebody in your business or somebody asking you questions or you having to, again, verify something. Something like that could be making you annoyed and or anxious soon. All right, let's move on. Libra. I got Workout by J. Cole. You could be trying to work something out. Somebody didn't think something through, or you're not thinking something through. So be careful when it comes to that. Ooh, what is this? That could be something that's getting your attention. Maybe you think a package is for you or something that's for you and it's actually not. So make sure you're not going through somebody's like clothes or stuff and it's like, oh, is this for me? And it's like, oh, you're gonna end up hurting yourself or hurting your own feelings. Somebody could be pocket watching you or you're pocket watching somebody else. Some kids could be ignoring you or annoying you and you're holding it together. Or if, hopefully you're not a child watching me. But there could be a Libra child if you're a parent of a Libra and your child could be annoying you. Maybe they're mimicking you on purpose. They're trying to get you to see something or want your attention. Something about a train could be important. I'm not saying somebody running a train on you. But maybe you're getting on the train. Maybe you live by train tracks. Maybe you know a kid that likes trains. I don't know. Or maybe somebody want to run a train. Maybe you used to do that. Don't make fun of somebody and or their struggle, okay? Your foundation will not crumble without them. So you need to go ahead and walk away when it comes to somebody particular. Somebody tried to fall back in love with another person, but they realized that they can't. Someone talks too much, but they're scared to address you directly. You could be confronting someone. You're carrying old baggage and or trauma. Something about a red shirt or a red jacket could be important. Or maybe this is giving red and blue like Walgreens. Somebody could be in the nurse or in health industry. You may need to take accountability for a situation, okay? Somebody's not really talking about everything. Somebody could be falling out of love with you. Something about wrong medication could be important. Somebody's definitely in the medical industry. Something about intentions versus impact could be important. Somebody had a one-time same sexual experience. Maybe somebody wants you to be open to that. You want them to hate the new person, but they don't. So you're going to have to let it go. At first, you knew what they were doing. Now you feel like you don't know what they're doing. But they're still doing the same things that they were doing with you. Okay? The initial F could be important, first, middle, or last. Somebody also could be failing a test. Somebody never expected you to catch on to their agenda, but it's time for you to be firm about your solution. And you need to delete some type of message. All right, let's see. Who you need to delete the message? Who are you talking to? What's with this Gemini still sitting out here? All right, delete the message to who, Libra? Even if you ain't feeling it, it's like, oh, I ain't preparing this in the message. Wait till it happens. All right, this could be to a Gemini, to a Pisces, an Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, a Pisces. Heavy on the Aquarius. Delete the message. You know who was doing. Who are we talking about? Somebody that's not really showing you as much love as they should. So you already knew what this water sign was doing. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, this Gemini, or this Virgo. And maybe you feel like, okay, well, now you're not sure. Somebody's not really showing as much love or they're about to stop. If they've been showing you some type of love. Somebody's like, okay, well, actually, I'm feeling a little bored. Actually, I feel a little stuck when it comes to it. Yeah, I still said I wanted to contribute, but there's somebody else around. And I'm insecure about this person holding off and or going through some type of panic. They're worried about somebody else and hoping somebody's not pregnant. So FYI when it comes to that. All right. Who never expected who to catch on? What is with this Virgo to keep popping out? All right, so there's a Virgo, a Leo, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, heavy on the Leo, and or an Aries. They never expected who to catch on. Things got real intense now. They never expected an Aries, a Taurus, a Sagittarius, a Libra, it used to be you Libra, a Sagittarius, to catch on to whatever they got going on. Who had the same time? I mean, I won't same time. I don't even know. I don't want to know what that means. All right, focus. Who had a one-time same sexual experience? Maybe you don't know this. Maybe you're going to get some proof. I don't know. All right, this could be a Libra. This could be a Sagittarius. Heavy on a Sagittarius. This also could be a Pisces, an Aries, a Cancer. Maybe they feel like, okay, yeah, that was a F. That was a fail. All right, let go of some type of baggage and or trauma. Okay, your foundation will not crumble when you do. Who's getting the wrong medication? Hope you're not taking it. There could be a Scorpio, a Gemini, a Cancer, maybe a Taurus. There also could be a mother around. And maybe they feel, okay, well, they're familiar with some type of medication and or familiar with how to get something. Or maybe it's like they're familiar with the pharmacy or they're familiar with the structure of building or whatever the case may be. So somebody wasn't paying attention. It's like a worker was too busy conversating or whatever the case may be and they walked away with the wrong thing. Somebody could have been given the wrong medication or given something they were allergic to. All right, who are you confronting, Libra? This could be an Aries, a Cancer, a Leo, another Libra, or somebody's confronting you. A Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, or a Gemini. If somebody's confronting you, let's figure out why. You can want somebody to come see you. Somebody's confronting you because they feel, okay, well, either you're walking away and or they need to create some type of distance. Somebody's like, okay, well, if you don't see it right now, then I'm just going to walk away and let you figure it out on your own. Somebody feels like either you need somebody else to tell you or you need to be able to get the information from somebody else. I don't know. But somebody feels like, okay, well, I was trying to get you to realize the situation. And whatever this distance is or whatever it is that you're trying to resist, somebody's just going to close out of it. Yeah, that's some type of boundary. So you end up confronting somebody confront you. It's like, you know what? Look, hey, I was just trying to help, but I'm going to go ahead and walk away and good luck with that. It's like, it'll just be your loss. So you'll mentor yourself through whatever this is. It is what it is. And the other person will have to take some type of accountability for it. All right, who's not really talking about everything? Somebody could be getting a new place and or moving, relocating. Something about a job could be important. All right, there could be an Aries, a Taurus, a Scorpio. Heavy on a Scorpio, a Virgo, or a Leo. Somebody's not really talking about everything. On purpose? Yes, on purpose. Okay, so you need to be firm when it comes to a decision. You want them to hate the new person, but they don't. Who's the new person for Libra? This is not your new person. This could be your ex's new person. All right, so this could be a fire sign. Heavy on the fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could be a Libra and or a Scorpio, maybe a Gemini. Now, initially, somebody felt like there was a little paranoia because they knew somebody was lying. But throughout the process, it's like, you know what? Maybe I can't agree to disagree. Maybe we can have some type of relationship. There's some type of mutual attraction. They were doing things that they needed them to do. And now they're starting to realize this person is unstable, this person is greedy, and they want to separate from them. But at the same time, they're moody, so they're going back and forth when it comes to their wishes being fulfilled. So they're both still trying to figure out if they're going to stay in this relationship or not when it comes to this new person. All right, let's move forward. What do you need to be open to? You could be trying to make a decision. It's like, would I rather this or would I rather this? You may delude yourself. You may hide yourself, or it's like, okay, well, you're going to end up going on a date, or is there something that you're going to end up doing? It's just like, you know what? Why not? Just because. And then you're going to actually need to be open to whoever this is, because they have some type of perspective that's going to make you feel like, okay, well, something has just completely ended and they are actually more than enough. You also need to be open to a relationship ending. If somebody is hiding the fact that they're dating someone and they're trying to go through some type of new beginning by just starting something new, they feel like it's going to be more abundant and they're trying to gaslight you, and or it's just like, okay, well, you'll feel like you're in some type of competition. They want you to be open to it. You need to go ahead and run away from that. You could be acting like you don't see it, so that way you can get enough money from them, or so that way they feel like they have enough with you. They can want to go on a new beginning, start to have a date, but they're lying. Okay, but if there's somebody that you're going to go on a date with, and maybe initially you're going to hide the fact that you feel like, okay, well, yeah, everything is all great, and even though it's not, you have some type of perspective that you're trying to end, and somebody that you're dating is actually going to try to give you some type of love and or some type of affection. All right, so FYI when it comes to that. All right, who talk too much, but they're scared to address you directly, Libra? Hey, hey. This could be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Heavy on a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, and or a Virgo. So they can talk to everybody but you when it comes to a situation or something that they're feeling. Who tried to fall back in love with somebody but can't? All right, so there's a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, an Aquarius, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Heavy on a Taurus. Who they try to fall back in love with? Running up, running up. All right, they try to fall back in love with a Capricorn, a Leo, a Taurus, a Gemini, a Scorpio. Heavy on the Scorpio. They realize that they can't. Maybe a Sagittarius. All right, who don't you need to be making fun of? Hold on. All right, this could be a Pisces, another Libra, a Scorpio, or a Cancer. Somebody could be trying to embrace a situation right now, and they're trying to do so with some type of comfort. So as somebody is able to relax or have type of rest, it seems like their wishes are actually going to be fulfilled. Why would you be making fun of them then? Because you feel like somebody is not really taking as much action, or it's like, oh, well, you can't tell if somebody's happy, or you can't tell if somebody is feeling successful, or if they just feel like there's some type of blind spot. It's something that you can't tell about somebody, or they can't tell about you. This could be involving a Leo, a Cancer, heavy on a Leo, a Virgo, an Aquarius, a fire sign, an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. I don't know what this is about. All right, who want to run a train on you? This is sexually, or who had a train ran on them? I don't know. Be honest with yourself. This could be a Capricorn, a Taurus, a Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Gemini, or a Pisces. Somebody could want to, maybe even a Virgo. Either somebody wants to or somebody did. Is this with you? Maybe. Who is this with? Who they want to do it with? This could be with a Pisces, a Virgo, a Cancer, a Gemini, a Cancer, a Taurus, Virgo, a Capricorn, or a fire sign. I ain't know people still did that. All right, let's move on. Who's pocket watching? Hey, hey. All right, there's a Pisces, a Virgo, a Libra, and or a Leo. Who's this Pisces pocket watching? There's somebody they can't tell. They could be pocket watching you, Libra, a Scorpio, a Capricorn, or a Sagittarius. All right, who is this Virgo pocket watching? This could be another Virgo, a Gemini, a Cancer. They could be pocket watching themselves, a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Taurus. All right, Libra, who are you pocket watching? Or who's pocket watching you? This is another Libra. This could be a Cancer, a Capricorn, Aquarius, a Leo. All right, who's this Leo pocket watching? This could be another Leo, a Cancer, a Taurus, or an Aries. Somebody said, okay, well, I'm just trying to figure out if you really got it or if you don't. All right, the longer that you wait, the better your results. So don't worry about some type of delay. All right, let's move on. Gemini, you could come up in Libra's reading. I don't know why, but maybe you're dealing with the Libra, or Libra season could be important. Maybe y'all are fighting over one person. Hopefully you're not doing this back and forth online because that's embarrassing to everybody involved. What that's about. Maybe one person want to vent, the other person want a solution. I don't know. All right, let's see. What's going on with you, Gemini? She's saying, I'm not going to argue with a bitch. So there needs to be a public apology. And you might be like, okay, exactly. This is exactly how it needs to be. You could be having a mood swing or something about a Pisces could be important. You have to trick somebody into getting things done. That's not your person. You need to divide and conquer when it comes to a certain solution and or issue. You may be sitting in silence. You need to get out of some type of anxiety when you do so, even if somebody gets mad. So congratulations. Somebody could be pregnant and having a boy. You will be able to recover. You could be having fast sex with somebody, but it's not satisfying. The answer is no if you had a question. You could be fighting for some type of attention and or somebody wants a relationship with you and they're going to fight for your attention. Something about tips could be important. I don't know if this is like nails. This could be like somebody has dreads and they're getting the tips colored, or I don't know, somebody could be doing something to their hair. Something about a new TV, new electronic could be important. There could be an emergency or something that happens all of a sudden, and this could be a little cringy. Somebody's playing both sides, so FYI when it comes to it. The song is playing is Let Her Cook by Gorilla. All right, let's see. You could be on a mission to get something done. Who's playing both sides for Gemini? All right, so this could be a Cancer, an Aquarius, a Libra, a Virgo, a Capricorn. Somebody's playing both sides. So FYI when it comes to that. What's going to be cringy? You feel like you can't move forward, or there's some type of decision that you were already planning on making, or that you feel like you could make, and maybe now you can't. You have to be patient and moderate yourself when it comes to it. If this is not you, this could be somebody that you're around. This could be a Pisces, an Aquarius, a Sagittarius, or an Aries. Maybe a fire sign, an Aries, or Sagittarius. Somebody feels like, okay, well, I could just play it safe when it comes to the situation. I'll just make sure that I find some type of purpose in what I'm doing, or I'll make sure that I'm being as balanced as I can be. But then there's somebody around them that emotionally manipulates them and or makes them feel like, okay, well, you need to protect yourself and or you need to do something a particular way. And then they become very much negative. They become very much arrogant and or careless, and something doesn't grow. So it's like, damn, you see somebody kind of getting themselves out of a situation and they got right back into it. All right, can you afford this new TV or this new electronic? Yeah, you can. But you may either have an issue with it not fitting in your car, or there could be some type of issue when it comes to you traveling or taking it to the house, getting it in the house, or getting it installed. Maybe you're a bartender or you get some type of tips. So if it comes to extra money, there could be something that you're going to be actually happy and or surprised to get, because maybe you've been exhausted and or feel like, okay, well, you're going to have to separate yourself from this job or whatever this case may be. Somebody may just all of a sudden tip you the same amount of the bill. It's like, oh, you get a $200 bill, but then a $200 tip as well. So congratulations on that. All right, who's fighting for attention? Gemini. No, we haven't done Capricorn yet. This could be a Cancer. This could be a Leo, Gemini. This could be you. A fire sign, an Aries, Sagittarius, a Libra, a Scorpio, Aries, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, a Pisces, and Aries, a Scorpio. Somebody's fighting for attention. Are they going to get it? No, they're not. And they feel, okay, well, I can just kind of persevere. I can make sure I can invest in a situation. But then there's going to be something that makes them feel like, okay, well, damn, somebody has high expectations, or something happens to their career all of a sudden, especially if they're dealing with a Taurus, a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, heavy on a Leo, maybe a Virgo. Okay, so no, they're not going to get the attention. When it comes to a relationship, if you're already in one, somebody could be trying to create some type of stability with you and or trying to solidify this relationship within the next 14 days and or within the next 5 months. Yeah, somebody's trying to be patient. Something about seeing angel numbers could also be important, and or repeated numbers could be important. This is also giving like, okay, well, somebody proposes on the 14th and then you get married on the 14th. Something about the 14th and or the 28th could also be important. Maybe that also could be somebody's birthday. Somebody could be questioning if they can deal with you and or if this is going to be the best bet. Somebody's either waiting on you to reach out and or figure out who you are. They could be a little emotional right now. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm imagining this or whatever this case may be. And feel, okay, well, I just don't want to go back into the same scenario. This could be somebody that already has a kid. They could have one and or two. And it seems like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just being moody. I have some type of expectations that I wish going to be fulfilled. If like there's something that they're actually not going to be able to work through. And then there's somebody else that comes around. This is another feminine that's insecure about a situation. And this completely shakes up their emotions. It's like, you know what? Actually, I can release these negative thoughts. So you're going to end up having a relationship with someone that's having to go through some type of healing phase. Maybe they're wanting to meet you early. All right. This may not happen until the fall. All right. No to what, Gemini? No, you don't need to accept some type of Cancer. You don't need to accept this Scorpio and or the Sagittarius. You don't need to accept this Gemini. Or somebody's not going to accept you. Okay? So figure out exactly how you can withdraw yourself. Figure out what is expectations you're hoping for yourself or what you're trying to showcase. What you need to hide and not showcase. What you don't need to put yourself in the midst of. And get out of some type of negative mentality. You'll get out of some type of resentment. You'll be able to make amends for yourself. So know when it comes to a person, and maybe they have some type of sudden awareness. It's like, okay, well, look, yes, I have some type of desire to reconcile with someone, you know, but I wasn't really taking action to do so. I wasn't really doing everything that I said I was going to do or what I told them I was going to do. And so now we completely wrap this up. They can be telling you the truth about how something ended. But is there some type of bullshit that either that you're not telling or they're not telling you or that you don't know when it comes to this being some type of distraction? And so you're going to have to get out of your head. It's like, okay, well, even if the person that they're telling you is thrown off, they were still trying to make something work for a reason. So FYI, the answer is no. Oh, I forgot. There could be something that you forget all of a sudden. So you could be dealing with, this could be a Capricorn, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, a Gemini, a Virgo, a Leo, an Aquarius, a Sagittarius, a Scorpio, a Cancer. All right. This fast sex is not satisfying. Is it not satisfying for you and them? No, it's just you. You actually may be invested in this. You actually may be in your head. So maybe you, I don't know if you like quickies or I don't know what this is, but somebody could be like, okay, well, yeah, I got a quick moment and we can make this work. But they're not actually satisfied when it comes to it. Somebody could feel like, okay, well, there's some type of distraction. Or I'm trying to distract myself from something crumbling and or them being in their head. So the answer is no. Somebody's not satisfied, okay? Either you're dealing with another Gemini, a fire sign, an Aries, Sagittarius, a Taurus that keeps coming out. This Leo and this Virgo keep coming out. Somebody is not satisfied, but they feel like, you know what, why not? They need a distraction to recover. Who needs to give a public apology? This could be somebody in your family, somebody that you worked with. This could be a fire sign, especially if this is a Leo. This also could be a Cancer and or a Pisces. This also could be a Sagittarius. There needs to be a public apology. Is this to you? Yeah, this could be to you. They could be bypassing a Libra or they could be bypassing an Aquarius. And they're going to talk to you specifically about a situation. But there's an argument coming. Are you in this argument? No. Who's arguing? There's a Pisces and a Virgo that's arguing. This Pisces could be disappointed. They started to pay attention to this person's actions. And it's like, okay, well, it led them directly to you. Or it's like, okay, well, clearly this is a bad choice. Or somebody fears some type of commitment. So you wasn't the only person around. And so this Pisces is arguing and or may say something to this Virgo or to this Leo, to this Gemini. It's like, look, I already can tell whenever you're trying to agree just to disagree, or you're trying to avoid conflict, or you already separate yourself from me, or whatever the case may be. So they're making some type of decision. So they may come back towards you. It's like, okay, well, now they truly got to keep their head down. So they may come towards you. It's like, okay, well, let's just respect our differences. Let's move forward. This is all out of some type of strategy. Yeah, they're trying to stabilize or they're trying to put somebody in front of their family, their dad, their mother, their brother, whoever this is. It's like, okay, well, they want this person to feel like they have type of structure. They can make some type of decision because they're always going through separation secretly. And they can feel like their father is disappointed and they're trying to just make this, or whoever this is, make them feel like, okay, well, look, I'm actually not someone that's procrastinating. I'm actually someone that did learn from my lessons even though they didn't. They're trying to put on a show. And there's going to be an argument that comes out about it. All right, so who's going to get mad? Gemini. Something about an Aries could be important. All right, this could be an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, a Cancer for sure. Maybe a Scorpio. What are they gonna get mad at? They feel like they shouldn't have to carry the weight of a situation. They shouldn't. They say, okay, well, yes, I was collaborating with someone. I was a resource for someone, or making sure that we can get things to work. But they feel like they shouldn't have to deal with somebody's bad choice. They should be able to detach. So you may say something or do something, and they may feel like, okay, well, damn, I can't commit to this. And it's like you're worried about them getting mad, and you don't really care. Something that's not your problem. Somebody, again, could want you to collaborate. It's like, okay, well, damn, they don't really have options, right? It's like Gemini, well, person A was dealing with person A, person B, and you. Well, person A and person B walked off, so you're the only person that's left. So can you take this person? Can they live with you? Can they do this with you? Can they da-da-da-da? I don't want this weight on me. I've collaborated enough, and now I'm ready to separate myself, and, you know, we'll recognize you for whatever this is, or we'll recognize that somebody doesn't have to have a commitment, sure, but at the same time, you know, either there's an unexpected pregnancy or, you know, shit, why not? You're not this person's match, but sure. Somebody doesn't really care. They could be trying to put some type of weight on you. It could be between you or a Sagittarius. Especially if you're dealing with a Leo, a Virgo. Heavy on the Leo or a Virgo. Somebody's going to need some type of space to recover. All right, if you have to trick somebody into getting things done, whether you have to give them money to get things done, you got to sleep with them, or you got to trick them like, okay, well, yeah, we're supposed to be there at 7 o'clock, but you're going to tell them 6 o'clock. You're going to get bored, okay? And even if you're like, okay, well, I can control my emotions, I can make sure that I'm balanced and contribute to this, you're going to be hella bored. You're going to feel like something that's just one-sided and you can't really give into it. Then there's going to be somebody else around that you could make another decision with. And it's like, okay, well, they can see something very clearly, or there's a better ratio with someone else. So make sure you're not sticking with someone. Whenever you can go ahead and release this. Who's relapsing? And this doesn't have to mean on a substance. This could mean somebody relapsing and stalking. Somebody's relapsing and going back to reconcile, or whatever the case may be. This could be a Gemini. This could be you or another one. A Scorpio, an Aquarius. Heavy on the Aquarius. An Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, a Pisces. All right. Anything else, Gemini? Somebody needs some alcohol or drugs to have sex, okay? FYI when it comes to that. And hopefully they don't need to relapse when it comes to it. You could be searching for a job or know someone who is. You may not know why you got blocked from someone particular. You could be falling asleep early or you need to change your sleep schedule. Something about tax season or tax time. Somebody could have a whole lot of kids, but maybe they don't even post them on social media. I don't know. If it's not the water sign, somebody could definitely be passive-aggressive towards you, or just make sure you're not doing so. There could be some type of footage that's getting released. Even if somebody has good intentions, there's some type of scandal that's coming out because it seems like they embrace some type of situation in order to recover, and now they feel like they don't have some type of choice but to recover. This could be a Cancer, a Taurus, an Aries, heavy on the Cancer, a Taurus, an Aries, or a Pisces, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. All right, let's move on. All right, Scorpio. These are all the ones we done did. All right, them all the ones we done did. These are the ones that we're doing. All right, Scorpio, what's going on with you? FBI investigation. Somebody, if there is an investigation, somebody could have gotten greedy. They should have held back when it comes to a situation, but they feel, okay, well, I can try to make some type of amends, or I can make sure somebody else feels thrown off. And now there's going to be some type of investigation when it comes to their finances. Who's being investigated? This could be an Aquarius, a Capricorn, a Cancer, an Earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. It's Capricorn for sure. Or a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. don't know if somebody was taking money from somebody or what, but hopefully they stop. All right, what's going on for Scorpio? Maybe initially you were heartbroken because you feel like somebody wasn't telling you something, or you didn't know who someone was talking to, or if they were talking. Or maybe you feel like, okay, well, you have a fear of this person leaving, and or you don't want this person to feel like you're about to leave. So you're just going to play your hand very strategically, or you're just going to watch how they do so. You're willing to risk when it comes to this person because you feel like, okay, well, there is some type of humor here, there's some type of protection and or power. So you want to make sure that somebody feels like there's some type of attraction and or unconditional love, even though that they have multiple options, or even though there's a one-night stand. So let's confirm. Was there a one-night stand and or multiple options? Scorpio. Yes, it is. Especially either you're dealing with an Aries, a Taurus, a Cancer, a Leo, and or a Gemini, or this is who they did it with. Okay? An Aries, a Taurus, a Gemini, a Cancer, a Leo. And right now, somebody's like, okay, well, initially they feel like something was moving very slow when it comes to your routine, your responsibility, and or your productivity, your hard work. And then they feel like, okay, well, damn, there's somebody else around me that has type of certain awareness. I can go be a hoe, or they feel like they look into me, or they see me, or whatever the case may be. And it was just one-sided. It was just for the moment, even though that they knew exactly what they were doing. And then now they feel like, okay, well, I can just hide it. Something won't be recognized. You won't ever see it, or you won't ever know. We can just embrace this. Somebody feels like they will be embarrassed because they're trying to embrace you publicly, or whatever the case may be. Somebody's going to have some type of desire to make amends when it comes to it. So will you get the truth and the evidence? Maybe not. But somebody may say something. Somebody may say something that gets your attention. Yeah, they do. And I'm not saying they call you somebody else's name, but this could be something simple, right? Yeah, it's something simple. It could be like, let's say y'all been together for at least 2 months. I don't know, maybe 2 years. And it's like, oh, well, we always go to Chick-fil-A and I always get barbecue sauce. But this time they're ordering your food and they order you ranch. And they're like, no, you get ranch. And it's like, I've never gotten ranch. Like, ever. Like, there's going to be something that's like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, okay, well, clearly there is something or somebody that got your attention, or there's going to be something like that, but you may not get a proof of that they actually slept with somebody. So it's going to be up to you to make that decision. What else is going on for Scorpio? You could be going through a new phase. You could be going through a new cycle, a new industry, and we're changing something when it comes to your job or just how you want to present yourself. It's something that you just need to get to work in or focus on. As you do so, it seems like you're healing from any type of toxic relationships or some type of, I don't know if somebody had a poly relationship or something like that as well. You can realize that there was some type of triggers or just some type of lesson that you have to let go. Now, if there's a karmic relationship that you're still holding on to, you're going to end up having to heal from this and going through a new phase. But know that you will end up changing your mind when it comes to how you get passion or how you like to have fun. Somebody may come back towards you like, okay, well, I see that you're making new memories and or that you are looking good online or whatever the case may be. You know, I just want to make sure that we can give this another chance. Somebody's going to come back towards you, want to go into a new phase. There also could be some type of karmic relationship that you have old memories of or in your phone, like old pictures. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not really sure somebody's going to give it another chance if we were to have sex or having a new phase. Somebody could be thinking about it from time to time. They feel like, okay, well, you both were able to individually heal your heart and or move forward. So it's like, okay, well, there's one relationship that may not be completely over, but there's one that definitely should be over. Okay? Up for eye when it comes to that. But you may be going back to somebody, at least one of them. All right, something about your attire could be changing your clothes. Maybe you're changing your clothes. You have a uniform at school or school. So you could be in school. You could have a uniform at work, or it's like, you know what? Maybe you're a content creator. It's like, okay, well, I want to batch create. Let me change clothes and get something done. You may need a pain pill or know someone who is. Somebody could be giving you a present, or you're trying to stay present in the moment. Hopefully there's not a robbery. Okay, but somebody could be asking you, okay, well, what's the steps? What's the direction? What happens next? Somebody could be willing to pay extra, but this also gives a red flag. Hopefully you're feeling okay. Somebody could have a throat if this is not you. Have you on the job interview. There's a bad second date out here, okay? So if you had a good first one, no, it may not go the same way the second time. You live rent-free in somebody's head. Someone is bisexual, whether you or someone else. You will land on your feet when it comes to a situation and or a person. Something about a group chat could be important. Maybe you're trying to figure out if you're going to travel soon. Something that's worse than someone else is saying. All right, let's see. It's worse than who's saying for Scorpio. Oh, the song that's playing. Come Through by her. All right, so if a Taurus, a Gemini, a Virgo, an Aquarius, a Pisces, a Capricorn, a Libra is telling you something, it's worse than what they're saying. Let's see, are they trying to censor this for you? Yeah, somebody's trying to censor something for you. Somebody may feel like you're confused, and or there's something that kind of got you in your emotions, or something that kind of making you feel like you either lied about, or there's something that you want to rethink. And they're trying to help you release some type of fear. So they're not trying to directly put something in your face. And this definitely could be you. When it comes to you being moody and or disappointed in something, Scorpio. If this is not you, this is a Libra, a Taurus, a Pisces, or an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. All right. Who's trying to compare some type of pain or trauma? It's like, oh, yeah, you had this, but I had this too. Or I had it worse. Or whenever I had to go through it. This could be an air sign and or a fire sign. Somebody actually could be confused as well. It seems like they had some type of positivity, or they was able to go through some type of change or do something for themselves, but they may not recreate this or think about it the way it actually played out. And so this got you holding on or feeling stagnated when it comes to your own personal transformation. Now, you could be lying about being happy or celebrating somebody, but you could feel like there's some type of confusion or just something that you want somebody to rethink. It's like, yeah, I don't really know. But maybe you're not really trying to compare their pain and trauma to an old situation, especially if you're dealing with a Virgo, a Gemini. And I'm hearing sirens. So something about an emergency could be important. Who mind are you in, Scorpio? It's like, yeah, I don't even see that. All right, this could be a Sagittarius, a Capricorn, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And somebody may not see this. An Aquarius for sure. Or I switch the roles. They're living in your mind rent-free and they don't see it. There could have been some type of conflict mentally, or there could have been some type of argument that happened in the past, especially after some type of work. Maybe you work together, or maybe y'all stopped working together. I don't know. But it's like, okay, well, somebody feel like there was some type of sneakiness, a side conversation, a group chat, or whatever this was that they wasn't a part of. They feel like, okay, well, there was always some type of issue where somebody wasn't able to work with them in or around them. So it's like, okay, well, whatever this is, I'll just have to have a courage because it's something that's not being committed to me and will contribute to me anyway. And so now they're kind of curious to if you see them as practical and or how something is going, or if you have investigated something practically when it comes to either them recovering and or how someone else is going to have to. Somebody wants to know exactly how much information you know, and that's why you're in their head. All right. Who are you going on a bad second date with? Or who's having a bad second date if you're not going on this date? There could be a Libra, a Taurus, a Virgo, an Aquarius. A Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Somebody's going to have a bad second date with someone. They may end up putting this in the group chat. They may not. You may not actually be in this group chat at all. But maybe somebody feels like you've already accepted the fact that they're moving forward, or there's somebody else new around, even if they feel stuck, or even if the other person is young. You got some type of self-doubt about this. Or you can feel like something's a bad decision. They could also be dating somebody that's bisexual. Yeah, they could be, especially if this is a Libra, a Virgo, a fire sign, an Aries, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Taurus. They could be dating somebody that's bisexual. Something may be worse than they're seeing. They're thinking. I said something about a robbery. All right, so something could be stolen. Is this from you? Maybe. It could be like from somebody that you know through you, yeah. So it's like, okay, well, you're connected to person A. Y'all both live in the same house, but they took something from person A even though y'all live in the same house. It could be you and person A got the same bank account. Somebody stole from them, so technically they stole from you too as well. So it's not really like a direct thing that somebody's taken from you or something that's been stolen from you, but it's something that's being stolen from somebody that's connected to you. This could be involving Pisces and Aries, a Gemini, a Cancer, or a Virgo. All right, now, are they the people that's stealing? Hopefully not. This Virgo could be the person that's stealing, or there's a Sagittarius that's stealing from this Virgo. Yeah, having a Sagittarius. So either you know the Sagittarius, you know the Virgo. Somebody's been stolen from by the opposite one. And one of them is going to send a message. It's like, okay, well, look, I feel like I'm on the edge when it comes to a situation. I feel like I'm being left alone and having to figure something out. They're actually talking to each other about having to balance something out. Something about August 11th could have been important. So maybe somebody was supposed to have been had something paid. And it's like, okay, well, it seems like you were taking action to balance something out with somebody else at that point in time. And so now you can't contribute to me. So there could be some type of argument that's happening. Okay. What's going on with this Cancer? Are they the person that's being stole from? Yeah, they are. Especially if this is by a Gemini and maybe even a Virgo. Child. So the Virgo could be stealing from a Sagittarius and a Cancer. Yeah, they could be. I don't know if this Cancer is a mother or sister. I don't know who this is. But they could, and if hopefully they're not stealing money, but they could be stealing their time and or their energy. It's like, okay, well, I'm going through a separation, and I feel like I need somebody that's going to help me make a choice while I'm at work, or somebody that's going to partner with me while I get something done. Even though there's some type of crisis and or betrayal. And they could feel like, okay, well, you ended talking to them, or you used to help them when it comes to it, and now you have some type of raw emotions about doing so. So they feel like, okay, if they can't take something from you, they'll take it from somebody else. All right, who's bisexual? You could hate when somebody asks like, okay, well, clearly you already know. This could be a woman. There could be two women that's bisexual. This could be a Libra, a Virgo. They don't have to be women. But heavy on a Virgo. This could be a Libra, a Virgo, a Capricorn, a Sagittarius, an Aries. Heavy on the Virgo. Somebody's definitely bisexual. All right. Will you find this out? Yeah, you'll find out. You could be finding out through another person. You could be finding out through a Sagittarius and or an Aries. And or a Pisces. And maybe you're going to feel like, okay, well, damn, in the past, it seemed like they had what they needed. They was getting married. It looked like they were stable with someone, or they were hitting some type of milestone. Now they're trying to be patient. And in this instance, some type of disappointment. And you feel like, okay, yeah, you just want to leave this alone. You just want to walk away. It's like, you know what? I don't want to know anything else about this person's love life. All right. Let's see. This job interview, Scorpio, is this going to go in your favor? Yes, but I don't know if you're going to fully like it. You may be taking this job so that way you can protect yourself from overspending in or a situation that you feel like you overspent in, but I think you're not going to stay there for long. Or it's like you get the job offer and then you just kind of walk away from it. Yeah, you make a decision. Something's not going to be worth it, I don't think. Is there going to be another one? Yes, there will. This actually may happen immediately after or within a month. Okay, so give it about 30 days. 36 days before it happens. After you turn the other one down. Who's the one that's sick? All right, so this could be a Capricorn, a Sagittarius, and or a Leo. Somebody could be sick. And then, or this could be you, Scorpio. Somebody's going to end up going through some type of transition. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and kind of step back when it comes to it. Let me figure out how I can move forward. And so that way they can reconcile and or heal themselves. Well, this is you. I hope you feel better. All right. The red flag. Who's willing to pay extra? There could be a Scorpio, a Libra, a Sagittarius, a Pisces. Heavy on a Sagittarius. Somebody's willing to pay extra. You need to say no. All right. All right, let's move on. Somebody needs to go get some new heels or get some new shoes. Who's next? All right, Aquarius. What's going on with y'all? You could be trusting yourself. You could just be waiting for the right time and or waiting for things to feel good. There also could be somebody around you. This could be a feminine. It doesn't have to be. This could be someone that you feel like, okay, well, they're calm when it comes to going through some type of transition and or leaving you behind. You could definitely be going through some type of separation. There also could be an air sign and or a water sign that feels heartbroken, or it seems like they, I don't know, they could act like they don't know, but what they actually know, or they could act oblivious when it comes to a situation. So that way they can go through a transition. But then there's somebody else around, whether this is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, maybe a Gemini. that they feel like, okay, well, somebody needs to just kind of sit back and think about a situation, and or they need to put something on the back burner when it comes to their perspective, so that way they can go through some type of transition. But they actually may end up heartbroken and or separated, but when they realize, okay, well, damn, I can't make something work. They also may separate themselves from someone that they feel like is thrown off. It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to walk away from this person that has type of perspective that I need to separate myself and go through this type of transition, or I'm going to be ignored, or I'm going to have to ignore something that I'm doing, or something that feels balanced. They don't want to listen to somebody. So it's like, okay, well, I'm fixated on my wishes being fulfilled, at least for the moment. Even at the point in time that somebody's going to ignore me, or somebody's going to feel like they regret some type of perspective if they authorize something with me. I don't know what they got to do with you. Maybe this is somebody that's either around you or somebody that you know is trying to go after something particular. And maybe they have the authority to do so, and it would be a wish fulfillment. But again, they're fixated on something that they should just ignore. All right. Somebody could be walking away from you, or you're walking away from somebody. What else is going on, Aquarius? Something about you setting something up. I don't know if you're going to have to set up Wi-Fi. You have to set up some type of cable, or you could be setting something up or breaking something down. You could be deciding that you don't want to recognize something as a burden. It's like, you know what? I don't really care. I'm going to see it as a different perspective, or I'm going to change my viewpoint and or my emotions about it. You could be realizing, like, okay, well, there's something else that you either have to do in order to stabilize or hit some type of milestone. And you can't be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm just new to this. I don't really know. There's something that you know exactly how to do and or how to get done. And it's going to take a whole lot of effort. But you're going to have to trust yourself when it comes to it. There also could be something that you don't want to see, or you don't want other people to see. It's like you don't want to move at nighttime. You don't want somebody to be like, oh, well, where you been? Or we haven't seen you in a long time. And da-da-da-da-da. When you go back home, or when you go back to a certain situation, you may feel like it's a burden because you feel like there's somebody around you that recognizes something is just not as successful as it should be. Well, this is a relationship, or just somebody that a new person, or somebody that you shouldn't embrace. They've already made some type of decision, or you're scared of them judging you. But somebody already made some type of decision to get out of their head when it comes to a situation. It's like, okay, well, I'm not really worried about who you moving on with or what you got going on. They feel like this is going to misdirect them anyway. So if you're worried about somebody looking at you like, okay, well, something's a failure, or you're going to have to get evicted, or you lost your job, or whatever this case may be, somebody doesn't really care. They also have been through a situation, so they don't really look at this like, oh, well, you have to be innocent, or this has to happen when you're young, or whatever the case may be. Somebody could feel like they were embarrassed at one point in time, and they already know what it feels like to go through some type of struggle and or a burden. So somebody understands what it's like to be fulfilled. Yeah, they do. And they actually may not be secretive about this. If you talk to them, they may tell you. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I lost my way. I didn't really know exactly what steps that I was supposed to be going through, even though I knew that some type of burden was coming. It's like, okay, well, it's my wish fulfillment to trust myself, and, you know, you just have to keep things behind the scenes at some point in time. So somebody can be giving you some type of advice, or you're going to realize that somebody's went through certain things. All right, what else is going on? It's like, yeah, that's why. Okay, so somebody could have a boundary, and or you need to create a boundary, Aquarius. Okay, so you might have to close the door on somebody, and they could be showing up as, okay, well, I have time, or this is what I'm trying to do at night, or whatever the case may be. Somebody could be trying to authorize some type of trust when it comes to you and or building. But then you're going to realize, like, okay, well, the only thing that you're going to start is just something that actually needs to end. Somebody may not actually show up for you, and or just something that you guys are not going to be able to agree on. You actually may end a situation. It's like, okay, well, maybe you authorized someone to do something, or you gave them some type of power. It's like, yeah, I trust you. You can get this done. Now you're going to be like, yeah, no, thank you. You don't want it done. Or somebody's going to tell you, no, thank you. There's going to be a boundary when it comes to some type of trust. Because so the person that had the trust feels like, okay, well, I got this authority. I got this power. I can see things or move things the way that I want to. Until they realize, okay, well, damn, now nobody's going to show up. Now there's some type of imbalance for sure. And this is going to make them go through some type of turning points where they feel like they got to just chase their tail. And somebody's definitely going to be at some type of crossroads. All right, so FYI when it comes to that. And if you're at some type of crossroads and you're not sure which direction you should go. So let's say you have multiple options. We're only going to do the top 3. Option A or option B could feel good. I'm going to go with option A. Option B, you're gonna feel like, okay, well, yeah, this is just like me, or this makes me feel super comfortable, or I know exactly what to do. And then there's gonna be a situation that makes you confused, or something that's gonna make you feel like, okay, well, damn, I should have rethought this, whatever this is. Yeah, you're definitely gonna be confused in your emotions. So FYI, go with option A if you had a question, Aquarius. Completely disregard option C, 110%. All right, let's move on. Somebody could be quick to judge, or you need to make a quick decision. Something about your divine team intervening could be important. This could be with a hobby, a habit, and or just you not drinking water, whatever that's it. Make sure you're not falling into a fairy tale and or idolizing one. There could be a fun night out that's coming towards you. You could feel like you have to do everything at work, and or you could be feeling like a fool because somebody's like, oh, well, I have to do everything at work the whole time. They're drowning in their feelings. No, it's not over, okay? There could be some type of gender reveal. If you're going to one, there could be a boy. Congratulations. All right, you're the hot topic because you're the GOAT. Something about a Capricorn and or a water sign is coming towards you. Your next person will be someone of growth, okay? So make sure you figure out something that you can do in your free time that's going to give you some type of peace and or harmony. You may know someone with the name Harmony, or someone with the initial H or P. Something about a frat or fraternity or someone that's in one could be important. Don't trust them around your child. Something about a Scorpio could be important. There's a really good opportunity that's coming towards you, okay? There could be somebody that's triggering you. I don't know if somebody's like smacking on food, or they don't pick up their feet when they drag their sandals, or there's something that's annoying you about someone particular. You could be going through a diet and or just allowing change to happen. All right, when are you getting this good opportunity? Oh, damn, I keep calling you Scorpio, Aquarius. All right, this could be coming in Capricorn season. All right, so now that you'll be able to make a choice, you will be able to adapt. This could be happening as you're adapting to some type of transition and you're going through a phase. It's like, okay, it just is what it is. You get some type of offer and or you see how something is a possibility. All right, so now that you'll be able to make a decision. Who's around you that's triggering you, or heavy breathing, or... Maybe you telling somebody that they need to focus on their weight. This could be a Cancer, a Scorpio, a Libra, an Aries, a Cancer, Scorpio, a Pisces. Maybe somebody's just pregnant. They could be disappointed because they realize, okay, well, damn, something is unrealistic. I need to avoid some type of conflict when it comes to stabilizing with someone. But again, there's type of baby or there's something that they're not really talking about. And they feel, okay, well, damn, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to balance this out. So yeah, somebody could be heavy breathing, but that could be a reason. All right, so allow some type of change to happen. What's going on with this change? Maybe you feel like you have an account, some type of money up. This could be related to your home, your job, or you hitting some type of milestone. Okay, so just kind of keep your head down. Make sure you count everything up. Just make sure you have some type of receipts if you need to. Don't make sure you're not planting this type of seed for some type of emotions, or you to be confused, or it's like, oh, well, so this is not going to go my way, or whatever the case may be. Don't worry about it. Also, if you're running into someone that's new, right? So you're going into a new apartment complex, a new job, or whatever this is. You don't need to plant some type of seed with someone that's going to be confused. This could be someone that looks really good. This could be a Gemini, an Aquarius, a Taurus, a Pisces, an Aries, a Scorpio, a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, or an Aries. All right, so allow this change to happen. Don't plant the seed with someone because it's going to end up in some type of emotions that you're going to have to walk away from anyway. All right, go on a safe diet if you feel like you need to. Trust yourself. Be honest with yourself. All right, don't trust who around your child. I told you they go that Scorpio. All right, there's a Sagittarius that's out here. You don't need to trust them around your child. There's a Scorpio, a Sagittarius for sure, and or a Capricorn, an Aquarius. You do not need to trust them around your child. Okay, I don't care what they say. All right, what's with this frat or this sorority, or somebody that you know that's in one? Somebody could want you to explore something and or look at something from their perspective. But at the same time, you know that somebody needs to go through some type of independence for themselves. Maybe you actually want them to liberate themselves from it. It's like, you want me to hang around with you and your people, but I actually want you not to be around them. You could want them to hold back when it comes to it, or it could be something that you like, yeah, no, thank you. All right. When will you have this peace and harmony, Aquarius? All right, Libra season's going to feel good, but there's something that you're going to have to avoid, and this may be a difficult choice. You may end up having to avoid a Libra, a Virgo, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, maybe a Cancer. Okay, so you may come to a crossroads when it comes to it, but you will be enlightened when it comes to what somebody was trying to move towards, and or why somebody was trying to take action, and or how. They could have a past person or somebody around them they feel like is celebrating or have some emotional stability. They feel, okay, well, somebody truly is kind and I'm in and out of whatever is going on when it comes to them. And they could be anxious because they feel like there's another person that they feel like is easily influenced and or sarcastic. And they're overly critical towards that person. All right, so find something to do in your free time. Who's your next person that you're going to be dealing with, Aquarians? And I'm not going to say sleeping with, actually in a relationship with if you're single. All right, this could be another air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. This could be a Sagittarius, a Cancer. Maybe on a Libra. It might be an air sign for sure. Maybe even a Pisces. Okay, FYI. Why is this water sign coming towards you? They could want to recover. Heavy on the recover. They want to recover physically, mentally, and or practically. They want to just be able to move forward. They feel like you're able to move on and or release some type of journey. It's like, okay, well, if you're able to overcome adversity, let me see if I can release some type of pain and I can do the same thing. Somebody also may want to release some type of information about some type of reckless spending, some type of financial insecurity, or whatever this is may be, so that way they can practically move on when it comes to some type of solution. This could be happening between Libra and Scorpio season. This can be happening after somebody's like, okay, well, we're not really talking anymore, Aquarius. Somebody could feel like, okay, well, yes, I'm telling you the truth about not talking to you, but they could feel like you're being dishonest, or they could feel like they know the truth about some type of strategy or something that's been happening. And somebody's like trying to balance this out with convenience. Somebody could be trying to walk away from you. At the same point in time, this water sign is coming towards you to talk about an issue. All right. You're the hot topic because you're the GOAT. Who's talking about you? All right. This could be a Leo, a Taurus, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Heavy on the Taurus. This also could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could be somebody that you don't really know. Who's going through issue after issue? There could be a fire sign. Heavy on the Aries. This also could be an earth sign. Somebody feels like, okay, well, damn, there was some type of inner critic and or them being unable to face some type of facts. This could be regarding a child, a payment, and or just some type of short-term focus, something that was unhealthy. And so now they're going to have a conversation in order to get out of this tower after tower moment. Yeah, because they created some type of impulses. They did something out of impulses, or, you know, now they feel like they lack some type of direction. They try to get somebody else to feel like they did. And now they're going through some type of karma. All right, who's drowning in their feelings for Aquarius? All right, this could be a Scorpio. Heavy on the water sign. Heavy on the Scorpio. There could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces that's drowning in their feelings. Let's find out why. What you do to... You say, why do I got to do it? Why is Scorpio drowning in their feelings? They could feel like, okay, well, they made some type of option and or decision when it comes to who they were going to deal with. And now they feel like, okay, well, I got to hold on to this. Even if this is somebody that you've known or you haven't really talked to in a while, Gemini, or damn, Gemini. Somehow a Gemini could be involved in or around Aquarius. Maybe somehow you know them both if they were supposed to be together. This also gives like multiple keys. Somebody could have went to jail, or it's like, okay, well, somebody was dating someone, they went to jail, or they went to school, they moved around the country, or I don't know. They just had multiple keys and multiple options, and they feel like, okay, well, I'll engage the one that was more addicted to me and or that was more trying to be possessive, and now they got some type of clarity about who this person is or how they're gonna have to play some type of cards to be with them. But somebody could would have talked to you and or just talk about it. They could be drowning in their feelings. All right. Who's going to a gender reveal? Who's pregnant? Well, let's just say who's pregnant. All right. This could be an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. Not me. Heavy on a Capricorn. This could be a Virgo or a Leo. If this is a masculine, they could have gotten somebody pregnant. All right. Let's see. Who did they get pregnant? They're masculine. This could be a Sagittarius, an Aquarius. This could be you. This could be a Gemini and or a Scorpio. Something could be happening all of a sudden. Or they got some type of sudden realization. It's like, okay, well, I got to get out of my head. I got to take action. I just got to figure out how to present the best opportunity that I can, even if they feel like there's type of sadness about this. They're like, okay, well, damn, this was a poor financial decision. I don't know if I have the materials for this, and or if this is going to lead to something that's going to be prosperous. But somebody's willing to make it work, at least now. But by the end of Leo season, they could be exhausted when it comes to this, at least secretly. Again, they're going to feel like they have to carry the weight of it. This is not a Virgo. This could be a Sagittarius, a Scorpio, and or a Taurus. Somebody may be a little overwhelmed about some type of pregnancy. Okay. There also could be some type of rumors coming out. This could be regarding a fire sign. What is divine going to intervene for you? So if you feel like you've been trying to be compassionate to a situation and you're frustrated when it comes to your choices or how things are playing out, your spirit team is going to step in and help you. Yeah, something's going to be more than a wish fulfillment. So just kind of hold on when it comes to it. Because maybe you're feeling something is not as realistic as it should be, or you're not sure if you're going to be able to recover. And this is making you conflicted on who you are and or how you provide something to other people. All right? Even if you feel like you got to do everything by yourself. Who's quick to judge? Scorpio. Oh, Aquarius. Damn. I don't know why I keep calling you Scorpio. This could be a Capricorn. This could be a Taurus. Maybe you need to go watch Scorpio's reading. I'll post this on YouTube later. This also could be a Leo, a Cancer, or a Gemini. Somebody could be quick to judge. Is this you? Are they judging you? Yeah, they are. Somebody doesn't have to work through a situation, so they're overly protective when it comes to themselves. They're very much strong-willed. They want to push out any type of secrets or any type of hidden agenda. So they feel like, okay, well, I'll just rather persevere and or just kind of rise above some type of freedom and just have some type of success in doing so that way versus having to pay attention and read between the lines. Somebody does it as a like a safety mechanism. All right. Anything else for Aquarius? Somebody could have lost a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but this also could be like a young kid, somebody that's still in school, and it's like, dang, my girlfriend, my boyfriend really died. So my condolences if you hear anything about that. You could be having some type of bad oral sex, or maybe you're reflecting on it. Somebody could be giving you bad review. I don't know. Be honest with yourself. There's somebody around that couldn't wait to go against you. All right. Somebody wants you to doubt kicking them out and or moving on. Somebody could say, oh, well, there's no way that it didn't happen. But yes, it actually did happen. All right. Who's in disbelief that something happened for Aquarius? This could be a Cancer. This could be a Sagittarius, a Capricorn. Have you on a Capricorn? Aquarius, this could be you, a Leo, a Cancer. So you can be in disbelief that something happened. What happened? Somebody was gossiping about a situation, some type of insecurity and or some type of disappointment, just so that way they can get familiar with the person that was moving forward or they were moving forward from. So it's like, ain't no way that she was over here gossiping with someone just so that way you can figure out how they was moving forward or what was next. It's like, yeah, I did go reach out to your ex. Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, we both were doing something that was childish. I don't know. So it's like, oh, there's no way that they know each other. And it's like, yeah, they do. All right. You may want to know what the fuck is going on, or who wants to know. This is not you. This could be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Another air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or an earth sign. This could be regarding a kid. It's like, okay, well, I'm not really sure that this is the best opportunity at this point in time. This also could be involving an insecurity, some type of gossip, some type of slander, and a rumor that someone presented again, so that way they feel like, okay, well, I can contribute to this separation and what's the type of this organization. Let me figure out how I can add something to some type of drama. Let me see if I can support someone taking an opportunity to manipulate themselves or do something even though that they're insecure about it. Somebody could be trying to trap somebody up. It's like, okay, well, yeah, go to this board, write 1 + 1 = 4, even though they know it's not 4. And you may be sitting back like, okay, what the fuck is really going on? Why is somebody trying to set you up, or why they were so ready to go against you? So FYI when it comes to that, I don't know who you got around you, Aquarius, but you may need to check your circle ASAP. All right. Aries. So something I got planned for y'all is Bad by Wale and Rihanna. Somebody could want your opinion about a situation. Let's see. What's going on with y'all? I don't know why I was going to say happy birthday. You may know a Leo. Or maybe you know somebody's birthday. What's today? Oh, I do know somebody's birthday today. You may know somebody's birthday is today. All right, somebody doesn't like you, okay? FYI when it comes to it. You could be a rich man or a rich lady, or this is what you're aspiring to be. You could be running into someone who is. You may know 3 or more people who are rich. I don't know. Or maybe you and your friend group are going to be rich. Your attention could be divided from time to time. Don't be afraid of having people around you. Just be gentle with yourself as you do. Somebody could be dealing with several men, and or you're going to get a message from several men. Hopefully there's not a woman that's getting massaged, or it could be a man that's getting massaged by several men. Maybe you just need to work out your body or just kind of relax your body. There is work that needs to be done, okay? Somebody needs to face what they did. You could be getting inducted into something, or there could be somebody that's having like getting induced when it comes to their baby. There will be an agreement that's coming towards you, or something that you'll be able to sign up for, or something that's going to help you to lower your defenses when it comes to feeling like you're on edge. There's a surge of energy that's coming towards you as well. You could be divorced. Somebody could be talking about a divorce, and or you're going through this process. You will be able to stabilize, or somebody sees you as someone that has a whole lot of structure. You could have went through your phone, your history, old pictures, conversation, text message, or bank account, or somebody else did. There's a situation that's like, okay, well, damn, this is not how you wanted things to turn out. But now you're going to get a whole lot of notifications and or the full story when it comes to something particular. Someone could be served some type of paperwork. You may find out that somebody's a part of the LGBTQA community. Love is love, okay? Somebody just likes to hear themselves talk. But they could have a crazy baby mom, a crazy baby dad, and or a crazy ex. Or they are the crazy baby mom, crazy baby dad, crazy ex. All right? And they could have did something multiple times. All right, let's figure out who we're talking about. Let's get another deck. Let's use this one. You're going to realize that somebody's not wrong about a situation, even if they got a smart mouth. All right, who did something multiple times for Aries? All right, this could be a Scorpio. This could be a Capricorn. This could be a Gemini. Heavy on the Capricorn. This could be a Libra. Heavy on the Capricorn. A Taurus. A Leo. Okay, so FYI, when it comes to it, somebody did something multiple times. Who's being served paperwork? All right, this could be a Virgo. This could be an Aquarius. This could be a Sagittarius, a Leo, or an Aquarius. All right. Especially if they're trying to worry about putting their child in sports or getting their child into something, school, or just something particular. All right, and what about your partner? What's going on with your partner, Aries? Even if you haven't met them. Somebody could feel like, okay, well, initially there was a whole lot of recognition between y'all, a whole lot of admiration and or appreciation. Now somebody could feel like you're losing control and or that you need to suppress something, but you don't want to. Somebody's like, okay, well, is this really how something's going to end? Or is this really going to be the conclusion of our relationship? Or, you know, is this just what I got to deal with until the end? Somebody could be trying to self-examine themselves and we're trying to explore, like, okay, what is this void that I feel? They also could feel like you're around a Leo, a Virgo, a Leo for sure, a Pisces, or a Gemini. And maybe they want you to recognize that this person is not in control of a situation. They're just trying to get things completed and or get some type of results because they feel like there's some type of examination or there's something that's happening and they want you disconnected from this person before there's some type of betrayal and or a turning point. Somebody wants you to concentrate and or kind of cleanse out the people that you're around. But someone could feel like, okay, well, you're just on some type of cycle to where you feel like that you have some type of resources or you can be social. But then when a few days after some type of investigation or paperwork happens, then you're going to start to inspect something, what they were trying to tell you. So you may not realize it until after the fact. But your person could be trying to tell you something important. All right, FYI. All right, who's getting hella notifications? I'm hearing glamorous. All right, this could be a Gemini, a Scorpio, an Aries. This could be you. Cancer, a Libra, a Capricorn. Heavy on the Capricorn, a Virgo. And this could be something that's happening soon. Let's see. Is this in Sagittarius' favor with these hella notifications? Yes, it will be in their favor. What about with this Virgo? Is this in their favor? No, this may not be in their favor. This actually may bring us some type of conflict and or some type of gossip. All right, let's see. With the Aries, is it going in your favor? Yes, it will. Even if you feel like it's not really providing you anything, it's like, oh, yeah, great. It's like, it could be somebody that's online. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I thought I was going to go viral, but your comment on another person's video got viral. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't really help you or something like that. All right, this Cancer, is it helpful? No, whatever's going on with this Cancer, it actually may be bad. This Libra, this hello notifications. Yes, this may help them go into a new start. It's Capricorn. Yes, even if they don't really see it at first or they don't want other people to know. All right, what's going on with this Scorpio? Yes, this may help them, but they actually may not be too happy about it. They could be going through something else that's frustrating them, and they feel like, okay, well, I don't really care about that anymore. There could be something else that got their attention. What about this Gemini? Maybe. I'm going to say maybe not with this Gemini. Initially, things start off like, okay, well, yeah, I always expect notifications or whatever, and something's going to be balanced, and then there's some type of anxiety or some type of despair. Heavy on the nose for the Gemini. All right, so that may not be good for them. Take your broke ass home. All right, let's see. Who need to face what they did for Aries? You may be sexually frustrated, or you're around someone who is. This could be a Cancer, an Aquarius, a Scorpio. Aries, this could be you, be honest with yourself, or another one. An Aquarius and or a Virgo. So somebody's going to need to face what they did, even if they feel like, okay, well, I have plenty. I can just balance something and make sure that I can hit some type of milestone and or celebrate when it comes to a situation. They feel like they can endure a situation, but there's going to be some type of restriction. There's going to be something that's going to be very much buttoned up and or structured to where they're going to feel like, okay, well, damn, I really have no choice but to go in this new direction and or go a certain type of way. And they're going to want to break free from whatever this is, whatever's controlling them. But there's some type of evaluation, some type of perspective, or something that's going to be very much focused on. And they're going to feel like, okay, well, damn, I don't really have any kind of defense about why and or how to get out of this. Let me just figure out if I can move on and see if I can create a situation that's going to help me hit a milestone. But they're going to have to face what they did, whatever they did. All right. I really haven't heard this song in a long time. Glamorous by Fergie. He let his daughter know. All right, be gentle with yourself. If you feel like you haven't been able to be as flexible as you need to be, whether this is actually with your body, like you feel a little stiff, you feel like things are kind of catching you off guard, you have cramps, or you feel like you're unable to be as flexible with your day as you want to, be gentle with yourself. There's going to be something that's going to synchronize for you to show you that you have many options and or you can be adaptable. Or there's going to be another thing that you can increase or that you can do that's going to give you more time and or freedom. All right, you just need to be curious on how it's going to happen or how you can make it happen. Who feels like they're on top of the world? Let's see. There could be a Pisces, a Cancer. If not now, then soon. There could be a Virgo. Having the Virgo, somebody feels like they're on top of the world. They're going to end up having to go within or inspect something very carefully in order to go into a new phase. But they are able to secure something. They actually may keep something quiet for a little while, at least maybe for a week. All right, something between 4 and 7 p.m. could be important. Somebody say, okay, well, there's work to be done. It's like, yeah, I know, but there's a turning point to whatever they got going on. So they feel like they got to get out of here or they got to do something for themselves. All right, who can you have around you, Aries, that you don't need to be afraid of? You can actually embrace these people. All right, so this could be an Aquarius. Yeah, you're uncertain about somebody. This could be a Gemini, a Sagittarius. I don't really think you want to take the risk with them. But this could be a Libra, a Scorpio, a Gemini, maybe an Aquarius. You could have somebody around you, and don't be afraid of doing so. What's going on with 3 or more people? Maybe all at the same time. They could be going through situations that they feel like it's not changing. Even if there's some type of achievement or there's some type of success. If this is not just you, because this could be you came out, this could be an Aries, a Pisces, a Sagittarius, a Taurus, or a Capricorn. Somebody feels like, okay, well, I know things are coming into fruition, but they could feel like there's some type of blockage or some type of challenge that they're going through and they feel paralyzed by it. But then there's some type of appreciation that they go through and or they get. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? I can actually express myself and or make something known. This helps them heal. So 3 more people could be going through the exact same feeling when it comes to their stability or what they're trying to stabilize. All right, who's this rich man or rich lady? All right, this could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. Heavy on a Cancer. This could be a Pisces as well. Heavy on a Pisces. This also could be a Capricorn. Okay, somebody's either going to be a rich lady or a man, or they're going to meet one. Now, if this is somebody that's like a celebrity, they could be trying to make some type of agreement right now. They could be trying to balance the situation so that way they can alleviate some type of suffering. And they could be doing this with someone that they're attracted to, somebody that they're in a relationship with. But that person feels like they're very much disinterested in or ignoring them. So something could be happening between the next 4 and 12 weeks or 4 to 12 months. But there's some type of ending of this relationship and the other person feels like, okay, well, great. I need to figure out how I'm going to balance something out and or just figure out what my choices are. So they may try to make some type of agreement when it comes to stability or how it's going to be stabilized before it actually comes out. What's happening tomorrow, Aries? Somebody could feel thrown off. Somebody's not paying attention to a scenario and or to what they normally do when it comes to their routine. They could have their children, their kids, their family, or just somebody around them that they either depend on or that depends on them. They could be in their ego, or there's going to be something that you're going to be able to see very clearly about how this person dressed something up. And you're going to be curious about, okay, well, how are you able to do this? Or what have you been doing when it comes to somebody's stamina and or talent? You can be asking somebody some type of question, but at the same time, they don't really want to dive into this because they feel like, okay, well, yes, there's somebody else that I've been working with and or I have an allegiance with. But at the same time, they're going to feel like, okay, well, I'm insecure about telling you this based off of them trying to go from dark to light. This could be a Leo, a Cancer, a Sagittarius, maybe a Virgo or a Cancer. So you could be seeing something about someone tomorrow, and it's like, you know what, I don't know. Why you don't already got this worked out? Why you don't already know how to take care of your kids? And why you don't already, it could be something that you're asking somebody, or somebody's asking you. Flip the roles. All right. You could be also signing some type of contract or signing some type of paperwork, government assistance. Something like that could be important. The initial K, first, middle, or last could be important. You could be juggling and or they have to. Something about you transferring money from one account to the other. Somebody needs some alcohol and or medicine to have sex. You also may know someone that's going to the ER. Hopefully this is not you. You inspire people even when you're not trying. Somebody could be scared to say something to you directly. Something about your appearance could have changed. Somebody's not a pedophile, but they're dating somebody hella young and they like to give them gifts because they feel like that person is not going to talk back or they're just going to keep something short. But hopefully they don't end up sick when it comes to it. Who are we talking about? Who's dating somebody hella young for Aries? This could be a Libra. This could be a Pisces. This could also be a Leo, an Aquarius, a Virgo. And somebody's confident right now because they feel, okay, well, something is just happening soon, or I'm able to show some type of affection and or love until they're left lonely by Libra season. Or there's going to be something that they're going to have to walk away from when it comes to this person. You could be losing a bet, so make sure you're not gambling too much when it comes to your money. Something about glamour magic could be important. Let that hoe let the hoe be a hoe. Somebody could be trying to play for keeps while the other person is being a hoe. You will be winning some type of case, so congratulations when it comes to that. All right. Last but not least, Capricorn. Well, let's go ahead and get you in and out. What you in and out of? Let's see. All right. What's going on with you, Capricorn? Okay, so maybe initially you feel like, okay, well, in the past you were smothering or that you had to wait on somebody in order to do something for yourself. Now you're going through some type of phase where you kind of can just accept this for whatever it is. You also could be accepting from time to time that you could be overthinking and or overly critical. You were depending on somebody who was planning on being stubborn and or immature, because you didn't realize and or you didn't tap into some type of potential. And now you've accepted the fact that you can separate yourself from them. You're starting to face your fears when it comes to it and withdraw. There could be somebody around you that was trying to be harsh towards you because they feel like you were at some type of imbalance. And now there's some type of scandal or something that they're going to have to walk themselves away from in order to liberate themselves from some type of immaturity. But somebody could be stubborn when it comes to accepting this because they're pregnant, or there's something that they don't really know if they're going to be able to improve. I don't know what that has to do with you. You could be improving your finances. It's like, okay, well, you can accept that you have some type of freedom, even at the point in time that you're not sure what to do with it. You could be an introvert and or not sure how to tap into something that's going to give you some type of enthusiasm. You could have PTSD when it comes to something. Because I'm like, what song is this? He said, fuck the big three, nigga. It's just big me. This could be Like That by Kendrick Lamar. You could be calling somebody a bum.
You can have some type of discernment. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm trying to withdraw from anything that makes me imbalanced and or it makes me feel like I have to be harsh, like I have to create a boundary, I have to say something, I have to do something. You have to give someone an ultimatum in order to have some type of freedom. You feel like something that's immature, so you don't want to do it anymore. You don't actually want to be guarded. You want to be able to let your guard down and or recover. You feel like, okay, well, you can accept the fact that from time to time you want to be able to depend on people, but this is not going to happen at the point in time that they're trying to disrupt you or they're unsettled themselves. So you're not willing to sacrifice yourself for somebody else. There also could be somebody that's not hitting some type of milestone. This could be a water sign and or an air sign. There could be something that they feel like, okay, well, there's some type of imbalance too because they were corrupt and or they have some type of biased judgment, even for the moment. Yeah, and they're going to end up having to balance this out because they're still acting like everything is about them at this point in time, and this is leading to some type of disharmony with their family. So FYI when it comes to that. Something about a moon cycle could be important and or an eclipse. There also could be somebody that's trying to hide something from you. I don't even know where that card came from. Okay, so somebody could be trying to confuse you and or conceal the fact like, okay, well, they know that you have some type of wise judgment and or you can think things through. Somebody could feel like you're very much, even if you don't feel extroverted, somebody could feel like you can be extroverted and or you can be super kind. Somebody knows that you have a tunnel vision and or that you're about to restrict some type of clarity from them. This could be someone that you were connected to and or was trying to create some type of situation to where you didn't feel humiliated. You were trying to co-create and or work through a situation. And now you feel, okay, well, you're going to give something a few weeks when it comes to some type of stamina, some type of talent, and or just how you're trying to declare something for yourself. You're willing to repair and or work through something particular. You also could be worried about a kid. I don't know if you got a niece, a nephew, or a child yourself. This could be a Sagittarius. There could be somebody that's just like, okay, well, I'm not sure how something's going to repair and fine tune for them when it comes to it, but you're going to just be extra careful and or intentional when it comes to it. There's going to be some type of new start, so you can kind of just sit back when it comes to that as well. All right. Somebody also don't really think something is ending. So if you already have made some type of decision, somebody may feel like, okay, well, yeah, you're withdrawing because you feel imbalanced, but I'll just either be generous or we can balance this out when it comes to it. Yeah, there's some type of injustice when it comes to either how a conversation happened or something not hitting some type of milestone, but they can feel like there's somebody else around that they would have to sacrifice some type of discernment for, and that person is harsh and they're trying to walk away from them. But at the same time, they're immature and or still stubborn when it comes to actually improving a situation to where you can accept this and or depend on them. So somebody's like, okay, well, I'm not really trying to let you go, even though there's type of issue. But at the same time, I'm still insecure about how something's going to go and or play out. All right, so as you have some type of new start, make sure you are expecting something and or paying attention. It seems like there's something that you're going to be able to work through and or fine tune. You're going to be able to proceed carefully. You also could be declining people. So maybe you're willing to have a new start with someone or date someone, or it's like, okay, well, yeah, I was telling somebody that we can go out or whatever the case may be. And now as you take a closer look, it's like, you know what? Let me fine tune myself. Let me refix this or let me restore, kind of upgrade yourself. So maybe you wrote something to them or you said something to them. It's like, hey, yeah, no, thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and walk away from this. You want to be able to make sure that you have some type of stamina or that you're able to be laser focused. And so you're like, okay, well, you'll give yourself some type of time before you get back into dating or before you talk to someone particular. So that way you know that you're not humiliated or you can bypass the type of situation that's coming towards you. And this is going to allow you to create and or for you to feel like, okay, well, great. You have some type of higher perspective. I'm listening to I'm Me by Lil Wayne. So this is going to help you tap into your hope and faith. Okay, so you feel like, okay, well, something's been concealed from you, or you feel like, okay, well, you have to camouflage yourself as you go through a transformation, but this is just a victim mentality. Things are actually working with you in how you live your life, but you could just be in your feelings about it. You could feel like something is not fair. All right, and he said, I know it's not fair, but I'm a cash money millionaire. So maybe you need to think about the bigger picture when it comes to you improving and or moving forward, even if you're not excited for the moment. Okay, and you popped right out. So there's something that you feel like is unstable, or there's something that you feel like is just not practical at this point in time. You will be able to recover mentally and or emotionally when it comes to the situation. All right, so just know that you have some type of hesitation, or you just have something that you haven't made a choice with when it comes to it. Hold off with it and take it slow and just kind of see exactly what this hesitation is and or what you can do with it. Okay, and allow this to inspire you and or refresh you. If you feel like, okay, well, what if I go back into a situation where you're unstable and or you have to juggle and you have no one else that can help you? This is some type of self-addiction and or PTSD. This is something that you're fixated on, okay? So have some type of introspection that your steps are created and or there's already a path that's landed all out for you. You just got to take the steps daily to get it done. There also could be somebody around that's starting to see some type of truth and or side-eye another person. Okay, so again, you can release some type of burdens. I feel like you're going through a temporary delay, and this is kind of making you feel the pressure in a way of making you feel renewed and or that you can make some type of decision. All right, FYI when it comes to that. Also, I'm hearing you're not me. So that could be somebody that's like, okay, well, even if they go to somebody, they're not you. It just is what it is. You could be holding it together. But there's some type of ultimatum. If you're not giving it to somebody else, you could be giving yourself an ultimatum. It's like, okay, well, by this time, I'm going to do this. Or by this time, I'm going to do that or do that. Because maybe you've been feeling uncomfortable. There's something that's been edited or something that you need to change. You also could have given somebody a loyalty test even if you didn't tell them. Okay, and now it seems like a real conversation is needed, and maybe you got time for this conversation. Somebody could be running from the law when it comes to it. Someone's also in the same-sex relationship, whether you or someone else. You could be doing some type of ritual for your finances and or protection. Okay, somebody is heroic only because they create the issue. It's like, okay, well, let me create you having some type of issue with your car, and then I'm going to come through and save the day when it comes to it. All right, and this could be the same person that's bypassing your feelings or your 2 cents. You're going to realize that somebody's a fake friend, okay, and they've been running from some type of accountability. We'll talk about this. We'll figure out what sign they are. We'll figure out what's going on when it comes to them. They could be lost in their emotions. We'll see for sure. You could be making the best decision for yourself. This also could be a Sagittarius. So a Sagittarius could be lost in their emotions, and they can't hide what you already know. There's some type of good news about your home. Maybe you need to focus on your intentions versus your impact when it comes to a situation. There could be a Virgo that's fallen in love with you or somebody else. Somebody's intentionally trying to make you happy. Maybe you're giving too many fucks when it comes to that or just something in general. Somebody could be having sex with their kids close by. I'm not saying it's you, but it could be somebody, like let's say you have a baby mom or baby dad. They could be having sex with the kids close by. Somebody could be trying to stop your growth. It's like, oh, well, that's the new person. So you could be realizing exactly who someone is dealing with. You're going to have a good talk with a good friend, okay? Somebody could be thinking, well, damn, they're not talking to me anyway, might as well leave. So if you're giving somebody the silent treatment and you're not really talking to them, this is why they're creating some type of distance and or they're walking away. They feel like it's awkward. All right, let's get some details before we close this out for today. All right, when it comes to you holding it all together, Capricorn, what's going on here? So there's something that you feel like is sealed off or something that hasn't happened or some type of access that you feel like you haven't gotten yet. And maybe you're bypassing working with other people or just something that you feel like you don't want to do. So you could be feel like a situation that's unlikely. And this is what's keeping you to feel like, okay, well, damn, I got to keep things controlled or I got to keep things very much underneath my wrap. And this is not really a hassle. It's not really a problem at all. So just be careful when it comes to a perspective. Or you feel like, okay, well, I got to hold this together. I got to be super controlled. I don't think that's the truth. All right, who are you talking to? You need to say something without anger and or arrogance. Somebody can't get you off their mind. All right, so you could be talking to an Aquarius, another Capricorn, or somebody talking to you. Heavy on the Aquarius. This could be a Pisces and or a Virgo. And somebody's like, okay, well, I understand how you need to have some type of discipline and or some type of structure in order to do something long term. Somebody feel like they can see it from your perspective. Somebody could still be attracted to you and or it could be trying to charm you for the long term. But again, it seems like you've already made some type of decision. You feel like a situation is serious and or just something that you need to bring into order. So although something could be left and or right when it comes to this person and there's some type of love here, you're disinterested. You're walking away. You feel like this is something or somebody that you're willing to sacrifice for the long term. You also may not even be sleeping with somebody or maybe you're sexually frustrated and you're not telling somebody or you're not telling anybody. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? There's no point. All right. When are you getting some type of good news about a home? This could be happening in a water sign season. And maybe right now you're just trying to keep yourself on something about in 34 days could also be important. It's like you're trying to keep yourself focused on a new direction and or it's like, okay, well, you're in a new community or you're in something new and you're trying to make sure that something could either be reevaluated or something could go great for the next 9 to 12 months. So you can get some type of good news and it's like, okay, well, great. Now you could be precise or now you can show up in your own energy when it comes to hitting your target because maybe you felt like something was going to silence you or you were trying to silence somebody else and make sure that you would get good news. Give it to Scorpio season. All right, what's the best decision for yourself, Capricorn? Continue to commit to things that's not actually going to stress you out. know that you will have some type of connection and you don't have to feel some type of pressure and or anxiety when it comes to it, because maybe you're kind of going back and forth. It's like, okay, well, there's either a lot of contacts or people or relationships or something that you had around you that makes you feel confused or make you feel like, okay, well, is it something too complicated, or do you have too many standards, or whatever this case may be. Yeah, give yourself some type of olive branch when it comes to this. Go ahead and wind down and make some type of amends, because something won't lead to some type of pressure at all. You need to either find somebody and or just create something that's going to allow you to work a little bit better. It's going to be the best decision for yourself. All right, who's getting rejected? All right, so you could be rejecting an Aquarius, an Aries, a Scorpio, a Libra, a Scorpio for sure. And it's like, okay, well, you want to just kind of either have a perspective or a higher perspective on the things that you're trying to reset and work on. So you feel like it would be 50-50 to deal with someone, but at the same time, you feel like, okay, well, you just rather find fault in the way that you have to do something for yourself or the way that you made a choice. So you could be rejecting somebody, not necessarily because of them. All right. Who can't hide what you already know? I don't know if we're going to make it through all these. A Capricorn and an Aries. They can't hide what you already know. This also could be a Virgo. And maybe it's like, okay, well, you're showing some type of discipline, or you're showing up with somebody or as somebody that has some type of leverage and or influence. But somebody could feel like you get intense from time to time, especially at the point in time that you want to accelerate something, if something moves quickly, or you want to get aggressive. But it seems like they're not going to be able to hide when it comes to something that you're trying to influence, because you're going to accelerate some type of resources, some type of finances. Something's going to come towards you to where you feel like, okay, well, great, I'm grounded in this. And someone who feels very much grounded, like they have the nourishment to whatever they need, they may become aggressive because they feel like, okay, well, damn, you're able to have type of resources, and you've been in the gym, and you've been able to resist certain things. You've been able to do things by the book or whatever the case may be. This could be happening between Libra and Sagittarius season. So if you have some type of addiction, a hobby, or something that you really drop or you let go, and it's like, okay, well, damn. So how can I appeal something, or how can I do something when it comes to it? If something's going to go your way, or you've been able to work through a situation. Yeah, you've been able to make things work. So just continue to trust yourself. Somebody's not going to be able to hide from the things that you already know what to do and or how to get through it, even if you're lost in your emotions. All right, who's going through some type of bad choice or bad karma? This could be a Pisces. This could be an Aquarius, a Sagittarius. This could be you or another Capricorn. This also could be a Gemini. Let's see. Is this you? This could be you. What's the bad choice? Postponing something that's actually going to make you balance is actually a bad choice. Okay, so be patient when it comes to yourself, because maybe you feel like, okay, when you need a routine, or you need to be laser focused when it comes to something in particular that you're determined to do. And although you are paving the road for you to be stabilized, or for you to be able to do something balanced, you're going to be in and out of this, because there's some type of solution and or something that you need mentally and or emotionally, because you're carrying the weight of you mentally and or emotionally. It's not actual practical weight. It's not actual issues. So just make sure you are not only trying to focus on the things that's going to make you feel like you have to do things repetitive or enduring some type of discipline. Know that you have some type of freedom when it comes to choices and or people around you. Just don't make some type of bad choice or get some type of bad karma. Who's the person that's a bad choice for Capricorn? All right, this could be a Scorpio. This could be a Virgo. This could be a Leo. Heavy on the Virgo. This could be a Pisces. Even if this is a feminine, like a friend, or you could be same sex. This could be a Pisces and Aries, a Sagittarius, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Okay, so the answer is no. Based off some type of bad choice and or karma. What's going on with this Sagittarius? Gave you some type of perspective to where you can realize that you can release some type of worry and or perspective of yourself. It's like you get comfortable when knowing, your blessings are closer. It's like, okay, well, let me just do the same thing until I get it. And somebody could be like, you know what? There's actually some type of love and things changing, or you not being too consistent. And now this is helping you realize, okay, well, great. I can regain some type of control by not trying to do everything consistent. This puts you with some type of happiness based off of someone else's perspective. You're also going to release some type of worry that they're going to try to stagnate you. You realize, okay, well, you can regain some type of control and or do something and make something work. There's going to be some type of happiness and or positivity when it comes to this relationship. So there could be somebody that you were just kind of staying away from that you may start to embrace a little bit more. And it could be a Sagittarius. All right, when it comes to what sign? When it comes to this Aries, it's like, oh, Lord. All right, what's going on with you in this Aries, Capricorn? Now, this could be one of two things. This could be somebody that you've never dated. Yeah, they never actually took action to get y'all to date. And or this could be someone that's having some type of problems when it comes to their business. They could have some type of bad temper. And or they could be just damn near disrespectful. Somebody's going to end up burnt out and or exhausted. They're going to give up when it comes to either making you feel like you have to be resistant and or that you have to persevere through a situation. They're going to end up having some type of new perspective. Okay, so they're going to have some type of issue with their business. They're going to be very much anxious. And then this is going to lead to a different perspective and or them being paranoid. And they're going to want to reconcile. They're going to want to come towards you like, okay, well, you have inspired something or somebody to be able to contribute to something. You have been able to grow or you've been able to sit back and allow someone else to do a situation. They're going to see it as a different type of way. So there's something about this Aries right now that got you kind of like, but they may actually be on your side soon. Your new boo ex. So if you don't have a boo yet, your new boo, their ex could be around and or they're going to be around. Because they feel like that whoever this new boo is that you have is very much innovative and or faithful. It's okay, well, I want to figure out if they do have type of clear mind and or they truly are trying to get something started with you. They're going to try to plant the seed that, okay, well, there's something about you that's going to lack type of commitment and or that they're not going to be able to work through. And maybe you're going to be initially like, okay, well, actually, let me speak up. Let me say something when it comes to yourself. But you're going to end up bypassing this. Yeah, you're not going to say anything. Because the lie is going to be evident. Something's going to be clear as day. So know when you have a new boo, their ex is still going to be around trying to plant something in their head. But it's going to be clear it's a lie. So don't even respond when it comes to it. All right, who's a fake friend that's running from accountability? This could be an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Heavy on the Aquarius. This could be a Capricorn and or a Leo. Now, if somebody feels like you're the fake friend, who feels like this about you? Be honest with yourself. All right, this could be an Aquarius and or a Cancer, a Pisces. So somebody could feel like you're a fake friend and or that you're running from accountability when it comes to a situation. Okay, who's bypassing your feelings or your 2 cents? This could be a Scorpio, and this could be on the basis of a lie. This also could be a Libra. They feel, okay, well, yes, I understand. Sure, I don't care. But we just need to delay something. We need to move past the situation, or we need to make sure that somebody else is not exhausted when it comes to a situation. Somebody wants you to compromise when it comes to a situation. And they feel, okay, well, I understand that you don't trust the Sagittarius. Or I understand that you don't trust this Virgo or whatever they got going on. But maybe if you can adapt, then we'll still be able to have some type of security or we'll have some type of influence when it comes to it. And maybe you're going to be like, okay, well, I'll sit back and think about it. And somebody's going to want you to take some type of action. You're going to end up saying no. So you're going to put somebody on the back burner. It's like, yeah. I know that you need a date. I know that you need an answer. You need a signature by the 12th. Yeah, I'll call you on the 11th. And then on the 11th and the 12th, you cut your phone off. It's like, yeah, no. The answer is no. You don't even respond back to somebody because you feel like they were bypassing your 2 cents and your feelings the entire time based off of some type of strategy. You're like, yeah, no. Goodbye. Who's arguing about a pregnancy or a baby? Whether the baby's here or not. This could be a Leo. This could be a Libra, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and or a Gemini, a Cancer. Now, somebody could actually be pregnant right now, and they're trying to move forward, thinking like, okay, well, I can just focus. I can overcome this obstacle. But then the person that's either pregnant or that they got pregnant by is going to feel some type of responsibilities. Something about sprinting could be important, or somebody's phone could be important. It's like, okay, well, damn, now they're losing some type of concentration when it comes to their business or what they can contribute to. And this is going to lead to some type of argument about a baby and or a pregnancy. All right, who's heroic only because they create the issue for Capricorn? Okay, so this could be a Pisces, a Virgo, a Leo, a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, a Scorpio, or Sagittarius. So somebody likes to create the issue so that way you can come to them for the issue to be fixed. And then they can say like, oh, yes, I'm your hero. I'm the person that's going to make your life feel better and or go great. Something about a mother figure could be important, whether this is a mom, a stepmom, a grandma, a aunt, a niece. I don't know. Oh, I guess a niece could be a mother. A baby mom. Something about a mother figure could be important, especially if they're in the same-sex relationship. Who did you need to give this loyalty test to? Or who did you give it to? All right, this could be regarding a Gemini, a Pisces, a Leo, a Taurus, a Libra, a Scorpio. Either you need to give them one and or you already did. And so, okay, well, you can clearly see how somebody changes certain things up and or just change up. Who's getting an ultimatum? This could be a Libra. A Libra, Gemini, Aquarius for sure, and or a fire sign. Now, this could be somebody that you're giving an ultimatum to, especially if this is like a kid. Or this could be a child's parent, a child's grandparent, an aunt, or somebody around about a child. It's like, okay, well, I understand that you want some type of resource, but you can't be impulsive. You can't do this, or, you know, you can only do this. You could be giving somebody an ultimatum. Or giving them some type of choice. It's like, okay, well, look, I'm not doing this, but I can do that. Maybe you let your kid decide, but they can only do something within limitations. All right, somebody can and do everything but what you ask, and this is why you're cutting somebody off. Get you a nigga that's solid. So I'm listening to You Got It by Vito. You may meet somebody that's trying to support your dreams. Fix your credit, get your hair done. That's not what he's saying. He said get your back up. Somebody need to get their hair done. Go get that degree, and somebody wants you to focus on them. He like the potential that you didn't know that you had in you, so fuck the other person. All right, who's saying this to you, Capricorn? There could be a Leo, a Virgo, a Taurus. Somebody know that you're going to get something. Heavy on the Virgo, the Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Don't let nobody tell you that it's over. And Aries. Somebody wants you to know that you got it. Say, fuck that other person, whether masculine or feminine. And focus on yourself, okay? And maybe this is when you'll do some type of ritual for your protection of your finances, especially if you're nervous to make a move. Confirm, is this ritual going to help you? Yes, it'll help you conform. It'll help you have type of system. Maybe you already know this as well, but at the same time, you feel, okay, well, either you already did something and you're waiting on something to happen, or you feel there's some type of blind spot. And so now you're disappointed in it. You just need to wait. Maybe you need to wait till the end of Leo season. All right, but somebody gonna let you know that you got it. Something about your alarm could be important, or turning something off. There could be a smooth transition. You could be going on a flight, or this also could be like, oh, you're gonna take yourself out to brunch and get you like a flight of margaritas or something like that. Take your own shit if you're going somewhere. Somebody's also taking an accountability. Somebody could be getting them a wrong medication. I think this came out for either Libra or Scorpio. I don't remember. Don't tell them that you don't want to go out. Something about Leo season and or Leo could be important. Something that's definitely going to seal the deal when it comes to you and someone particularly letting go. And it's because they're not ready, and or they could be passive aggressive at the same times. You're going to be realizing that your dreams are real, or maybe you're having vivid dreams, okay? Somebody could tell you, oh, well, let's just do something for the kids. And you're like, are you my teammate or my opponent, even when it comes to the kids? You have a lot of people in your energy, especially if they feel like there's something that's urgent going on with themselves. But you can care less. Maybe you can also care less than who's in somebody else's phone. You're realizing that your self-talk is what's blocking you, and that somebody's been trying to manipulate you. You could be winning some type of case. You also could be playing for keeps, because you letting a hoe be a hoe. You don't really care anymore. All right, Capricorn. That's it. That's all. Let me see if we have any personals before I hop off. Sierra, are you here? If not, I'll refund you. Let me see who else is let me check this other one. Let me know if you're here. Hey, y'all. You do what? What you talking about? I wasn't even looking at the comments. I'll have this posted on YouTube. I'll say about the morning. I ain't gonna say about tonight. And just in case I don't. All right, Sierra, let me know if you're here. Going once, going twice. I'm gonna refund you. I'm gonna go get me some lunch. Oh, you need your hair done. I'll probably flat iron mine tomorrow. Let me do something different. I don't know. Yes, I've done Aquarius. All signs have been done. I'll have this posted on YouTube and time stamped by the morning. Okay, let me go ahead and refund. Let me do this now before I forget. Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. I will talk to you later. My YouTube is the same thing, N.TarotNews. The username and the picture, all of that stuff is the same. All right, Sierra, if you're here, I've already refunded you. I will be live tomorrow. We'll do free yes or no's tomorrow. If you're a follower, come back tomorrow, probably around 3, 4 o'clock-ish after I leave the gym. Okay? Y'all have a good day. Bye.